Take on the New Orleans Pelicans yet again. They look to get some revenge after Sunday night's loss. Tip-off is set for 7, a game you can catch live on FanDuel Sports. Speaking at the NFL Combine, Stephen Jones told reporters the Cowboys will be selectively aggressive this offseason. Cowboys fans remain broadly pessimistic. I'm Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Good morning, San Antonio. Welcome in. How we doing? It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm AJ Hoffman. To my left, a fine Southern gentleman, Mr. Robert Thompson. Good morning, Rob.
Good morning, sir. I'm replying to an email. I have to describe what I did last week.
Oh no. What did you do last week?
I'm making it up. I'm going to use AI.
That shouldn't take long.
Some rich guy wants to know what I did last week.
If someone asks what I did last week,
if I don't respond, it'll be a resignation.
I took naps. I'll tell you what, man. This is day 2 in a row where my sleep has been rudely interrupted by gastrointestinal issues.
Oh, man.
And yesterday, when I got up at 2 a.m. and took care of business, my body was like, oh, thank God. You know, you have one of those.
Say you were dealing with this yesterday.
Oh, I did tell you that. Remember, I told you. I said I woke up at 2 a.m. and
yeah.
I didn't say it on the air, but I told you off air that I had had this issue.
I didn't realize it was as bad as it was.
Yeah, and then
I caught up.
Was it the barbecue you ate?
No, that was Friday.
It was too long ago. But I do think the fact that we're dealing with the same thing tells me
that worries me.
Y'all ate something.
No, I think it's something besides food is what I'm worried about.
Yeah, I think we caught it from somebody.
Because Rob and I are we sit close together every day, and
We've been in close
we
environments.
breed the same germs.
And we were up in Austin and got some kind of Austin funk.
And you're immune because you're a cancer survivor, and you have a super kidney, and you've got a bunch of good stuff going for you.
No, it's that Moxie acid cleaner he uses.
Yeah,
you're one of
that stuff works.
You're one of the lucky ones. Okay, you're blessed with good health.
Remember,
where Rob and I.
Remember, I touched the Pope. Remember?
I remember. I remember. Actually, come in here and let me rub your face.
Yeah. Are you sure? I'll bring the Pope's rosary.
Bring it. Hey, right now.
Come rub your hand on my face. Let's do that thing that your teacher did.
I got another place you can rub your hand.
If you want.
Which, by the way, now your teacher would go to jail for that.
Yes.
In fact, you should call the cops on her now. And
I don't
say,
think
hey, I
there's a
remember
statute.
when. Yeah, I don't know. Hashtag Vic too.
Yeah.
Now,
Vic
Vic
was probably so horny at the time. He was like, oh
yeah.
Sister Immaculata touched my face.
Sister Abigail. Oh.
Sister Immaculata.
They're all over 80.
That is the worst noise, dude. That is literally the worst noise in the world. It's just awful.
Vic went home with his Wookiee haircut, where his eyebrows touched the bottom of his hair. He was like, he could
it was a different time.
Yes.
Oh, Sister Grace. Oh.
That's
Yeah.
abomination.
So I woke up again at 2 a.m.
You and I both.
And I was unable to return to slumber because I felt like a horse had kicked me in the area between my groin and my belly button. Like that, the underside of your belly button. That's
fupa.
Do you still have your gallbladder?
Yes.
What do you mean? Would I know if I didn't?
Yeah.
Does it just fall out sometimes?
Could I pass it? Because right now
a-
my body seems to be rejecting my gallbladder.
Your
That might be
gallbladder's
the
right
issue.
here.
Oh,
Right
no.
in
That's like in my chest, right?
Yeah, right
It's
below
about-
the rib cage.
If you went
No, that's
3 inches
good.
below the belly button, right in there seems to be a
That's
knot.
where I'm at.
I seem to have knotted my intestines.
Oh.
Yeah, we have the same issue.
Yeah, dude.
And I gave legitimate thought this morning to calling and being like, I'm not coming into work.
Is it a tapeworm?
It could be. It
No,
could
I'm not
be.
thin enough. I haven't lost enough weight
It's
for
going
it.
to come out of your nose and go back in?
Sometimes I see these videos where like guys will take there's like a cat or a dog or something. They grab hold of a worm and pull it out, and it's like 3 feet long.
Yeah, no.
That's crazy.
No.
I don't like worms in my body. I don't like that. I don't know what's happening to me, but just know
I'm having a baby.
That there at some point during today's show,
we might go to network
commercials.
Yeah, the show is going to start, and Rob and Vic are going to be here, and there's just going to be an empty space where I'm at.
Well, we're all dealing with the same El Huapos this morning.
I'm going to do this and just put my hat right here on my water bottle.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Rob, you talk to that.
Crickets.
So just ask it a question, and it'll like just Vic, just make sure you put the camera on it, and it'll stare lovingly, and then you can occasionally probably make a fart noise, and that'll let you know.
Yeah, that you're not here.
Exactly where I'm at.
Yeah.
Exactly where I'm at. Yes. Ugh.
Going to Austin, I'm telling you.
Now I got to survive 4 hours.
It was going to Austin.
It can't be that.
Yeah, it was.
That's
the one thing we have in common.
Well, we're both extraordinarily handsome.
It was Moody Center. There was something in the
pecan pie?
Something in the Moody Center. I don't know.
Oh, no. I think it was the pecan pie. I felt bad immediately after I ate that, but that was a different kind of feeling. Like I'd had weight.
A full feeling?
Oh, my God. I was about to burst. And I told Rob, like, before we went in there, I was still telling him.
I didn't tell you to eat the whole thing.
I know.
I just wanted a slice.
But I'm so
the pecan pie.
This is one of my biggest issues is I hate wasting food.
Yeah, me too.
And I know,
just grab food and just throw it down.
Rob ate like 2 bites of his pie and left it, and I took a piece, and I was like, I got to eat this pie. Even though knowing full well, whatever pie wasn't left or wasn't eaten at the end of that game was just going to go straight in the trash anyway. And like my little piece of pie was just a drop in the bucket. But I don't know why I have that weird desire.
You were raised right.
To eat all of the food.
We were all raised. Kids in Africa are starving.
I know.
Eat your liver.
I know. But I guess kids in Africa aren't hungry anymore is what you're telling me.
Well,
at least that's what they told you at the Thompson house.
Well, we just cut off a bunch of aid. They're about to get hungry.
Yeah. Eggs are too...
I'm hungry. What are we talking about?
Yeah, we can't afford eggs anymore. There's no way those kids in Africa have eggs.
My lack of eggs.
Hey, they got some new shirts, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know? They got Buffalo Bills AFC Championship shirts.
Yeah, they sure did.
God, it's the worst. They got USA Hockey shirts. Team USA Hockey,
Kansas
4 Nation champions.
3-peat shirts.
Yeah.
God, I hate sports. Although I watched last night, I watched the Houston basketball game, Houston and Texas Tech. Last night,
Blood and guts battle, baby.
I love both of those teams. I love the way both those teams are constructed. What I hated last night about Texas Tech was that they didn't play anybody. I know they're beat up, but they only played 6 guys. You can't win with 6 guys against Houston because they don't get tired, and you're going to get tired playing that team. And it went about exactly how you'd think. It was close. Tech got tired. It was over.
And good news is, Tech acquitted themselves. They didn't hurt themselves at all.
No.
They stayed at their probably 6th seed as they are.
Oh, I think
might
they're
have
higher
jumped
than
to
that.
a 5th. Well, we still got some more games to play, but I think they're going to end up being a 5th or a 6th seed. That's a stellar basketball team that plays the kind of defense that wins games.
Well,
it'll travel.
Well, we'll see how well it travels on Saturday. They go to Fog Allen next.
That's might be the easiest game coming for them.
Well, playing Kansas at home or in Kansas is not easy ever.
The first time they're unranked in 80 weeks, not since 21, and even then that was a kind of a hiccup.
When do you think the last time Kansas and North Carolina were both unranked is?
Well, funny, as Kansas drops, Carolina's won 5 straight. Starting to find
They're playing the ACC. It's easy.
They're still winning basketball games, so they might have found at least enough to get themselves in the tournament. Where I'm not sure after all is said and done, Kansas makes it in.
I think that North Carolina might make it in, and they will get obliterated.
Probably.
That is. I'm telling you now, eyes don't lie. That is a bad basketball team, and I think a lot of people are getting fooled by the fact that they're playing Virginia and North Carolina State and Florida State, who are all just dreadful teams.
Yeah, Florida State's in trouble.
And you know what? They're going to play Miami next.
And they'll get another one.
And they'll beat Miami by 20 points, and everybody will go, man, North Carolina's the real deal. And on the last day of the season, I'm pretty sure, or the last day of the regular season, I'm pretty sure they play Duke at home. And my guess is Duke beats them by 25 points in North Carolina and lets everybody know this team is fugazi. They're frauds.
There's tournament time and stuff. They're better. Are they a title team? No.
Oh, God, no.
I think
maybe NIT.
The sad thing is Hubert's going to do enough to keep his gig, and that's probably the biggest issue.
I don't know. They could get if Duke embarrasses them badly enough.
Well, they've got enough
in their house.
They're still, they've got a couple of guards that are worth it. I mean, they got a couple of senior guards that can go win some games. So at least one of them can. I'm not projecting greatness for this team, but what I saw them do on against Florida State, they're good enough. They're good enough. But just to not get themselves humiliated.
I think looking at their resume. Let me pull it up. I'm pretty sure they've beaten one team that's going to be in the tournament this year. Their only win against a tournament caliber team is UCLA by 2 points on a neutral. That was before Christmas.
Yeah. Wow. Well, I mean, we've talked about it. I think the week we talked about what happened to North Carolina, they started to kind of, beat the bad teams, but they got to turn around. They still got to deal with Clemson again, and they still got to deal with Duke.
Yeah, and Louisville. They're not that good. But I digress. Who cares about North Carolina? Let them lose. It's good for them. Good for them. Good for Kent. I'm good. I don't mind seeing those teams wallow for a while.
Yeah,
when the same teams win all the time. Like I'm all for Duke. Like having remember when Duke just collapsed and they were like sub 500. I'm for that.
Well, I think every team needs to be brought back to earth. But the world is better when there are things to aim for, when there are standards to be chased, and there are blue bloods to be emulated. And I think basketball, as well as football, there are certain teams that if they are good, the health of the entire sport is good.
That's probably true.
And they're one. North Carolina's, for good or bad, is one of those teams. They're going to wallow in it for a minute. They'll be back. Kansas is going to wallow in it for a minute. They just made a couple of poor transfer decisions that just haven't worked out, both schools. So, they'll be back just like Arizona kind of hit the bottom, and they took a couple in, and they might be finding their way back with all this offense they've found. So, cyclical, but the Blue Bloods need to be Blue Bloods, or we end up with Florida Gulf Coast versus, San Diego State in the Final Four, and really nobody cares about that.
Don't give me that either. Yeah, I'm very spoiled. I'm very particular about my basketball.
Well, we want to know who we're seeing. We want to know these guys.
Yeah, I want to know their names. Speaking of names, we've got some NBA to talk. There were a couple incredible performances last night. The Spurs have a chance to get back in the loss column or stay back in the loss column tonight in New Orleans again. We'll see what happens with that. The line tells me that Zion is going to play.
Oh, got an extra night, I guess.
The Pelicans are minus 2.5. Seems like
I think we should thank him for.
I think so too.
Play.
Yeah, Zion, get out there, do your job, Bubba. Do your job.
30.
Go Pels, go. Pop up those ping pong balls.
Did you see Chicago last night? Did you see what they did to Philly? Up is down, black is white.
How about what the Timberwolves did in the fourth quarter? Yeah, we got a lot of hoops to discuss. We'll do that next. Morning Huddle 94.1.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. We now have a full-on closure on the northeast side at Henderson Pass, both directions. Northbound, southbound, 1,000 Oaks to Brook Hollow, closed with an accident. 35 northbound, 1604 up to Olympia Parkway. That's road work. It's got the roadway reduced to one lane, about a 20-minute delay, slow from 1,000 Oaks. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radio.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. A great alternative to a mobile phone for your kids. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get 60% off. Free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off.
You know the Roo Pub is proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best place to watch a game. Just down from the big blind, right next to the Angry Elephant. The Roo Pub, 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
The Blitz is going to Vegas. Come along for an unforgettable Mega March weekend at Circa Las Vegas, March 27th through the 30th for opening day and the second weekend of the tournament. Thursday, March 27th, celebrate the start of the baseball season and watch all the games at the world's largest sports book, plus the ultimate March Hoops experience. Take in the action in the 6 pools and the 143-foot screen at Stadium Swim. Book now and use promo code BLITZ at circalasvegas.com and join Jason and Joe at Circa Resort and Casino.
Joel, it's fantastic to be a local business here in San Antonio.
Sure is, Nigel.
We always say, from the outhouse to the penthouse, we can plumb it and we can cool it.
And all that at a fair price with one easy phone call to 210-651-5899.
See, Joel, I told you I could do it without clowning around.
So what's with the red nose?
You can let go now. That's not funny.
Quarter Moon Plumbing and AC, 210-651-5899.
License number M16004, TACLA 141074E.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Some people just know they can save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first at 888-ALLSTATE or Allstate.com. Like you know to check you have gas first before road tripping through the desert.
Empty? Seriously? Maybe I can walk.
Yeah, checking first is smart. So if you want to save money, check Allstate first at 888-ALLSTATE or Allstate.com.
Maybe I can't.
You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary. Terms apply. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
I am James, Senior Apparel Designer, and this is Behind the Design with Hawks. Hawks is your classic workwear brand. It's designed for those guys that are on the job site. Just driven performance, just rugged and comfortable. Thinking of durability, everything is either double, triple stitched, bar tacked. It's built durable, it's going to perform, it's going to move with you, it's going to have everything that you need in a product. Hawks, only at Boot Barn.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time. The next time you're out to dinner with friends, you can order the shrimp cocktail for the table. And maybe you'll realize it only comes with 4 shrimp after you've already given away 3, but that one shrimp will be so good. And if you switch and save hundreds, you could get shrimp all the time. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time. For shrimp. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
The Gomez Law Firm has been San Antonio's trusted law firm for 50 years. We have Jose with the Gomez Law Firm here with us today. Jose, tell us about the cases you all specialize in.
We do ride-sharing cases, we do 18-wheeler cases, work injuries. We will be happy to take a look at and see if we can help.
If you or your family have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, you need to visit joegomezlaw.com. Call the Gomez Law Firm at 736-4040.
Imagine finding your dream home and moving in right away. No waiting to sell your old place first. Sounds perfect, right? That's exactly what Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program lets you do. Buy your new home now and sell the old one later. Jason Minix here from The Blitz. That's exactly what I did. Here's how it works. Orchard gives you cash so you can buy and move into your new home first on your timeline. No waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then the Orchard experts take it from there. They handle repairs on your old home and make price-boosting upgrades. Once they're done, a local Orchard agent lists and sells your home for top dollar. Orchard's Move First program gives you the freedom to buy and move into your new home first and sell your old home later. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Ready to find out how much your home is worth? Visit Orchard.com to get your free home evaluation. That's Orchard.com.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on The Blitz, what kind of news are we going to get from the Combine? Stephen Jones made news yesterday. What's today?
Plus, the Spurs take on the Pelicans tonight in New Orleans, but is it a game they are trying to win? We're talking about it on The Blitz.
The Blitz starts at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Morning Huddle, sicker than your average on a Tuesday. You know what I saw last night? My wife sent me this thing. This is horrible. But I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna play it in. I'm gonna play it over my microphone here, so everyone can know what's going on in San Antonio. I worry, Rob, that this could be what's happened to us. Let me see if I can make this work.
Antonio, Texas area during Valentine's Day weekend, you may have been exposed to measles.
Oh yeah.
Because one of the cases that came from West Texas in Gaines County was traveling in the San Antonio area and exposed themselves while infectious with measles to thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people. Here's a timeline of events according to Texas Health and Human Services.
Well, if you're immunized, you don't have any worries.
Yeah. Like, who gets measles?
Mennonites.
Oh, come on, man.
West Texas
and if you
Mennonites.
If you get measles, why are you coming around other people?
Well, they had, actually, I think.
Well, I had the trip planned, you know. Like I was just gonna,
well,
you know,
I know it.
Really wanted to go to the Alamo.
I think they might have hit UTSA. I think they're visiting.
They were
schools,
at UTSA.
Yeah. My dad, being a teacher out there, got the letter. Like,
oh, it's okay. Your dad's just what, 80-something?
85.
Yeah. No
but
big
he's
deal.
vaccinated too. Even that old. I mean, so if you're vaccinated,
you're good.
You're good.
Yeah, but you know what? Like, you can be vaccinated to COVID, and somebody comes around with COVID. It's like,
well, this is different. This
I know.
You don't get it. That's the vaccination thing.
Let me get political for a minute here. I get like the concern that you know, this COVID vaccine was around and nobody knew what was in it and how it was gonna, like, the long-term responses and stuff. But like these vaccines that have been around for, you know, 50 years, like, let's just stick with them. Let's not let measles come back. Like, I don't really want I don't want all these diseases that you die from on the Oregon Trail game to start taking over our world again.
Well,
all right, like, let's not get dysentery. Like, let's believe a little bit in medicine. All right, just a bit. If you're not getting your kid vaccinated for measles,
we're gonna get on a very slippery slope argument here.
Yeah.
I completely agree with you, but
I got news for you.
Things that the guy in charge has brain worms.
Well, when I joined the U.S. military, I mean, all three of us joined the military.
I must have gotten like 19
Oh,
shots.
gosh. We'd walk. I remember you'd walk arm in arm, and they'd just blast the other's shoulder.
And then you'll have a few people just pass out. Right?
God.
I mean, they were. I was like,
wimps.
I mean, the list of things that I got vaccinated for, just in case.
Oh, yeah.
Did you go overseas?
Because
that's a whole other round of
now, by the time I got in, you got vaccinated in case you went overseas.
We got vaccinated.
So I got vaxxed in case I was going to Africa. I got vaxxed in case I was going to Asia. Like, everything that you can imagine, like, let's just do it now, just in case. Because they don't want you, if you have to go to Africa on 2 days' notice,
right?
They don't want you to be sick in that 2 days. So they're just like, you're going to feel like awful for the next week. By the way,
did happen.
By the way, you're still going to be doing all the things required of you in basic training. You're going to be vomiting and things, but you'll be better in the long term.
And God knows what we took. I mean,
I've got no idea.
Prep for Desert Shield. Keep back in the early 90s. I don't think they even cared. They were just, let's try this.
No, it could have been snake poison. Who knows?
Sarin gas. Well, let's see if we might have an antidote. Let's shoot that in.
Let's try it. Let's try something out.
Yeah, it was.
I don't want measles. I don't want malaria. I don't want any of these things that I feel like science has solved. Like, let's just
got rid of it. Yeah.
Keep it to yourselves, friends. You know what?
Stupid.
If I'm UTSA, I immediately tell that kid, you can't come here. You're banished.
Well,
make him go somewhere else.
No, but I have an exemption.
No. You go to school in you want to live that third world country life? You go to
Idaho or somewhere.
No, you go to school in like Colombia. And you live in Venezuela now, buddy. Yeah. Sorry. You want a higher education, you get it somewhere else. You go to Guatemala. Beat it. Yeah. You don't belong here bringing me measles.
Should we make them wear a mask?
I don't think that's going to help. All right. I meant to go on a rant about the NBA last night. We'll do that next. It is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. We now have a full-on closure on the northeast side at Henderson Pass, both directions. Northbound, southbound, Thousand Oaks to Brook Hollow, closed with an accident. 35 northbound, 1604 up to Olympia Parkway. That's road work. It's got the roadway reduced to one lane, about a 20-minute delay, slow from Thousand Oaks. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radio.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies, offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Perfect for instant contact with an aging parent. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get an extra 60% off, free UPS shipping, and add code RADIO for an extra 5% off.
Hunger striking, snack time calling, it's crunch time. Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds brings you the boldest protein-packed crunch you can't resist, with mouth-watering flavors like hot honey, sweet barbecue, and sea salt and cracked black pepper. Why settle for chips when you can level up your snacking game? Plus, they're low-carb, high-protein, and made for adventurous appetites. Score big flavor today. Grab Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds at H-E-B.
Don't let pain hold you back from living your best life. I'm Dr. Jason Garrett with Arasti. At Arasti, we're dedicated to providing fast, effective relief from pain. Whether you've been dealing with a chronic discomfort for years or have recently suffered an injury, our goal is to help you recover quickly. Our treatment is all natural, non-invasive, and covered by most insurance plans. With convenient locations nearby, relief is just a call away. Visit Arasti.com. That's AIRROSTI.com. Arasti, we fix pain fast.
No one does happy hour like Twin Peaks. Whatever your preference, we have everything from tequila cocktails and extensive bourbon category to top shelf spirits and cocktails served over those beautiful icy balls. Local craft beers and handcrafted whiskey cocktails round out an adventurous drink menu that's second to none. And Twin Peaks hand-stretched flatbreads, oh, they're coming out hot. Close out your night with our favorite flatbreads. They're available during the late night hours, Sunday through Thursday for only $8. That's only from your favorite lodge, Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, and oh, those scenic views.
Hey, listen up, San Antonio. Multiple tours overseas, long nights monitoring cyber activity, years of protecting the country. It all adds up at University of Maryland Global Campus. Earn up to 90 credits for prior learning.
You're a dumb guy. I was the Turk. I was bad
we
news
call
Billy.
That credit
Must be
where credit
18
is
plus,
due.
19 plus
Whether
in
you're
Alabama
active
and
duty
Nebraska,
and looking at
19
what's
plus.
next, or a veteran looking for something new, our degrees and certificate programs teach the application of emerging technologies and enduring life skills. So get started on a degree or certificate with personalized local support services and online and hybrid courses right here in San Antonio. At UMGC, you'll find everything you need. More than 135 degree and certificate programs, online and hybrid courses, dedicated success coaches, and more from a top military and veteran trusted university for over 75 years. Classes start soon. Visit UMGC at San Antonio or umgc.edu/SATX.
If you're tired of drinking the same old beer, good news for you, friends. Karbach Brewing has you covered. They've got something for everybody in their lineup. No matter what you like, they can improve on what you've been drinking. Whether it's a Hopadillo, a Love Street, or a Crawford Bock, they've got something for everybody. And Karbach has one of the leading IPAs in San Antonio, Hopadillo IPA, an iconic Texas IPA packed with the bitterness of hops from around the world that the hop monster craves. And one of Carbox's leading brands, the top seller in San Antonio, in fact, is the Love Street Blonde. It's a state of mind, a San Antonio state of mind. It's a Kolsch-style blonde, hopped delicately with floral German hops. This beer has the clean malt profile that you're looking for. And if you're used to drinking cerveza, they've got that as well. The Carbox Cerveza Especial is right for you. Like I said, something for everybody. And when you're in Houston, make sure you go check out the brewery, check out all the beers they have on tap. But while you're here in San Antonio, you want to try something new, why don't you try out a Carbox?
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it.
Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 to learn more. With AutoPay plus taxes and fees, plus $5 per line without AutoPay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. Motorola Edge on us with 24 monthly bill credits and new line for well-qualified customers, plus tax and $35 per line connection charge. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Gain a global perspective and specialized skills that many of today's top employers are seeking with an MBA from University of Maryland Global Campus. Study online and complete your degree in just 16 months for about $21K. Choose from MBA specializations in global business, marketing, HR, finance, and more. Classes start March 12th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
This is Joe Reinagle. You're listening to the home of the Aggies, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Morning Huddle. Dancing with ourselves.
Yeah. Hey, Pledge said they're working on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is Pledge actually outside working on it, or is he at the gym?
Probably at the gym.
He's not really working on it then.
Nah.
He's working on himself, selfishly.
Yeah.
But we're just going to keep dancing with ourselves. Uh-oh. Dancing with ourselves. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Yeah, we're working. Well, I say we're working. Vic's about to make a phone call and get things rolling.
Just rattled cages.
Yeah. That's part of the radio life. Is every once in a while you're talking to yourself, and here we are today, talking to ourselves. No big deal. That's what that's why we wake up at 3:30 in the morning, to make sure that no one hears us talk.
3:30. I'd been up for an hour and a half.
Oh well, yeah. Today I woke up
morning devotional.
I woke up at 2 today for a different reason, but we've already gone over that. We've already gone over that. Yes, the king of my castle. The NBA had some wild results last night. And there were a lot of major line moves late in the day. Remember yesterday we were talking about the Clippers being favored at the Pistons? And then it was announced, Kawhi, shocker, he's not feeling it today. He's not going to play. Line jumped to Pistons -3. They won by 9 points.
I think the Pistons would have beat them regardless.
I think so too. Yeah.
Cade Cunningham 32 last night.
Joker just missed out on a triple-double. He had 18 points, 9 rebounds, and 19 assists. 19 assists.
The maestro.
For Joker. Incredible.
Hey, Halliburton, by the way, in the loss, 19 and 50.
Yeah.
I mean,
everybody's sharing the ball. What's going on here?
Actually, just a hell of a basketball game from the Nuggets last night.
The Bulls mollywopped the 76ers. I'm talking, that's assault, brother. It was 142-110 was the final.
They had them by 50.
The game was not as close as the final score would tell you.
50.
Yeah, they were put in it. Remember last night or yesterday I was saying, you can't possibly bet the Sixers right now. Like, they are such a mess. Like, nobody wants to be there. It's a disaster right now.
Josh Giddey, 25 and 16 last night.
That's crazy. I think Kelly Oubre led the Sixers, which is if Kelly Oubre is your leading scorer, you know things have gone horribly wrong. How about the Washington Wizards? Washington Wizards won a basketball match yesterday.
So the Wizards have won, the Pelicans won, and the Bulls won.
Yeah.
So at least they're trying to help the Spurs along. You
Yeah.
get your assignment tonight?
The Jazz almost won. The Blazers beat them 114-112. And it actually looked like the Jazz were trying to win the game at the end, which was a weird circumstance. But yeah, they were putting up a
if they're
fight.
checking the scoreboard? Like, everybody else won. Let's go give it a shot.
Let's get one here. If the Wizards win, we can win. Why not? The Hornets did not try. They know their assignment. They lost by they barely lost. They only lost by 42 points. It was 130-88.
Houston, we have a problem.
Yeah.
We have a problem. I'm convinced that the fix of this is when we get 20 games out at this point.
I like your idea here.
The bottom 5, bottom 6 teams are now in it to get the number 1 pick, not by losing, but the team with the best record with the 20 games to go gets the number 1 pick. Forget the ping pong balls. Let's make this interesting at the end of the season.
The stupid Hawks won 98-86. The game of the night was the overtime game between the Timberwolves and Thunder. I did say it was insane that the Thunder were 12-point favorites over the Timberwolves. And then I felt really dumb as I was watching that game in the fourth quarter, and the Timberwolves in the fourth quarter were down 24 points. And I said, oh, man, I may have made a mistake here saying that the Timberwolves could hang with the Thunder. Well, not only did they hang, they come back and win the game. Anthony Edwards have a day, sir. Jaden McDaniels have a day, sir. My boy Terrence Shannon Jr., 14 points in the fourth quarter off the bench. Just came out of nowhere and did it. That was one of the biggest comebacks in NBA history at that point in the game.
We were talking yesterday. I can't understand what's going on in Minnesota. I mean, that they showed last night that they're capable.
Their ceiling is still great.
They're capable, especially if they get some scoring from Shannon, which I think, the Karl Anthony Towns spread the court thing they miss. They miss his ability to pull the 5 out or the 4, whoever they've got on him. And I think if they can get some buckets out of Shannon, that will help. There's no reason they should be this far back. But I will say this. Oklahoma City had that game in hand. They had them beat front to back for 3.5 quarters. So I don't think this is – I think this is one of those things where Oklahoma City was – how many have they won? 4 or 5 straight?
Yeah. I
think they're feeling good about themselves and let the foot off the gas more than about Minnesota finding themselves.
How about this? The Timberwolves were down by 16 points with under 4 minutes to go in the game. That is the second time in the play-by-play era, which goes back to 1997. So the second time in about the last 30 years at least that a team has been trailing by at least 16 points with under 4 minutes in regulation and came back to win. The last time it happened, the only other time it happened, the Bucks did it against the Raptors in 2023 when they were down 21 with under 4 minutes to go.
Good job with Chris Finch getting his guys fighting, but I'm not going to color them in good shape yet.
Chris Finch also was talking about it. He applauded his team because he said they were able to come back against a team that fouls on every play.
No.
He's like, you know how difficult it is to play basketball when the Thunder are fouling you on every play?
Shut up.
But he said it's very frustrating to play them because they foul all the time, you really can't touch Shea. It's a very frustrating thing. It takes a lot of mental toughness to play through it, and we just eventually were able to get downhill and force the issue ourselves.
Planting a seed. That's a $10,000 seed.
And we got rewarded for it.
You just plant that seed for the playoffs. Yeah, I'll write the check. He's going to get a letter today. He's going to get a little email from the league office on Fifth Avenue. You're going to have to write a check about that one.
Yep. He was, and apparently Anthony Edwards was hurt. He hardly played, although he did come up with the game-winning block at the end of the game. But yeah, they didn't have Rudy Gobert either, or Julius Randle. This was a shell team of the Timberwolves, So to come back and win that game, got to give him some credit there. On a night where Shea had, I think, close to 40 points. Hell of a performance.
File that away. 40 points in a loss, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. He had 39. 30, so almost 40. Pretty good day, though.
Well, it sounds like one of
39
those.
39 points, 10 boards, 8 assists.
Well, he had 8 assists.
He needed 42 because he missed a game-tying three-pointer with 3 seconds left in overtime.
I'm not going to color anything wrong with OKC.
What a loser.
I think that you have that kind of lead, that's your fault.
Yeah, OKC also played without Chet yesterday because he was just resting. He's coming back from that injury. They said they were going to give him a night off.
I don't give them any benefit without him. They're used to playing without him. He's gravy. He's gravy. Yeah. On a game like last night without Gobert, he was gravy.
Yeah.
They sat him. I don't know if Gobert sat because they knew that Chet was sitting, but
I'm sure
it was a tit-for-tat chess game, and I want Minnesota to be better. I hope this starts a fire. I want to see them. Now that the Spurs have no prayer about this, I want to see a true rock fight to finish this West out.
Isn't it weird how last year we were looking at the Timberwolves and the Mavericks in the Western Conference Finals, and now it's like neither one of those teams are even safely in the playoffs. Like it's we're not
is
that a good thing or a bad thing for the NBA?
It's not a good thing, and it's not a bad thing necessarily. But the West is thick, and the separation from first to eighth ain't that far. So I do think we're going to see a couple of cards get shuffled.
The separation from second to eighth ain't that far. First to eighth is a good way.
Well, first, let's discount on both sides of this. But other than that, I do think the deck's not completely done yet. But we do need to see an improved Minnesota. I think Phoenix we thought they'd play a bigger role in the playoffs. They're not. They're not going to have a big role in this. And the Clippers we thought might play a role as a spoiler. It doesn't appear that they're going to be capable of it either. So I do think that the cream's going to start to rise. But Denver, I think, is finding themselves. They know the pace of the season, and they're kind of rounding themselves into form.
They've won 9 of their last 10.
Yeah, so they're finding their way. The Lakers are going to get good as soon as they figure things out. And Golden State, I think, is going to be a surprise as we close out this season. They're going to take the place of the spoiler that I thought the Clippers or Phoenix might play.
You want to hear a wild stat? The Denver Nuggets have won 9 of their last 10 games, and they are still – the gap between Oklahoma City, the 1 seed, and Denver – is the exact same as Denver and the last play-in team. So the number 2 seed is as close to missing the playoffs as they are to catching the Thunder.
So I think there's going to be a shift. I think we'll see, 4, 5, 6, maybe trade some places. But, at this point, it really doesn't matter. We know who everybody is. Let's just get to the playoffs, find your seeding, and really more important than anything else, be hot and be healthy.
I think let's just get to the playoffs. Let's see the Thunder play the winner of the Cavs-Celtics, and that'll be the end of the season.
Well,
I think we can fast forward.
We have to wait until June.
Oh my gosh!
Get there.
There's a whole lot of wasted time there.
There's an upset brewing. That somewhere there's going to be one of these teams that thinks they're going to be out quick. There's just too much middle of the road talent for one of these teams not to fall. And I don't know which it'll be. Probably more likely in the East.
If to me in the East, I can't imagine the Celtics and Cavs not playing.
It's not the Celtics, but I'm just saying they're so far ahead in the East that maybe we don't get everything. But in the West, maybe it's more likely in the West. But there's an upset brewing. You could just feel it. There's too many good to average to really good teams for somebody not to be overwhelmed and home figuring out what happened.
No, I agree with that. I just don't. I think it can be. I think about anybody in the West can lose in any 5-7 game series except the Thunder. I can't see the Thunder losing to one of these teams.
It'll be a tough one. But, we've talked about all these teams, and Memphis is hovering around out there.
They're hanging in there.
Scare as anybody in a 4-game series. So, there's going to be some teams that wake up at the end of the season trying to figure out, we've done everything we thought right, and it just kind of collapsed. And let's not forget about Sacramento. They're like 8-10. So teams are warming up in the West. We're going to get to a point where one game matters 3 points, a 3 position. You can fall from 4th to 7th.
Well, a couple teams, the Rockets are starting to fall out of things. They were the 3 seed not that long ago. They're struggling right now. And the Clippers, were a team I think they were a big underdog to even make the play-in. Like they were one of the teams that their win total was lower than the Spurs. Mm-hmm. And they're sitting in the 6th seed right now, but you're starting to see the signs of why they were not projected to play all that well, particularly when Kawhi's out. It's like they're a pretty gross team.
When you're relying on Harden and Norman Powell, I mean, they're going to win some games, but not enough.
All right, let's hit a break. We'll come back, wrap up the first hour. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1.
Jackson Hewitt wants you to save money on tax prep. We're saving money by having our intern rap in this commercial.
Don't stress, Jackson Hewitt's got expert tax prep, $149 or less. Yo, some tax guys lie about price. They got hidden fees, that ain't nice. Ain't nice. Don't ignore MC Kevin's rhyme, cause this deal's for a limited time. $149.
For tax prep that's $149 or less, hurry into Jackson Hewitt today.
No cap.
Limited time offer for new clients on federal returns. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com/149.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text ROCKY to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text ROCKY to 42424. That's ROCKY to 42424.
You've decided to divorce. I'm attorney Steve Benke. If you're worried about getting the bills paid, childcare, and your divorce, we'll help make it simple, painless, and affordable.
Your future matters. Call the law office of Steve Benke.
Call 210-DIVORCE or go to BenkeLaw.com.
Injuries happen, and when they do, skip the ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Quarry area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site x-ray casting and bracing, Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at TSAOG.com.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Consult a doctor prior to use.
Wow, you look amazing. What have you been doing?
I'm sure you've heard of Ozempic, Wegovy, and the other GLP-1 medications, right? Well, I found this great company called Zelfie. If you qualify, their providers can prescribe medications like Ozempic and Wegovy and other GLP-1 medications that are 80 to 90% less expensive, all 100% online.
I can get GLP-1 medications for 80 to 90% less and do it all online? No doctor's office or pharmacy?
Yes, Zelfie can provide semaglutide or tirzepatide, the active ingredients in Ozempic and other expensive GLP-1s, but for 80 to 90% less and shipped directly to your door.
How do I get started with Zelfie?
Just send them a text.
Text BEST to 200-300 to get started today with Zelfie. Get the same active ingredients in Wegovy or Ozempic, but for 80 to 90% less and 100% online. Don't wait. Text BEST to 200-300 right now for a link to your exclusive offer. Text BEST to 200-300. That's BEST to 200-300. BEST to 200-300.
Welcome, John, our new admin lead.
Thanks.
You've got your laptop, all your admin apps. Oh, and you'll be in charge of ordering food for the team. So here's your drawer full of menus.
Whoa.
You'll keep your receipts in this file folder. Whoops! Receipt confetti.
Oh, dear.
Oh, and all these sticky notes have everyone's dietary preferences.
Have you tried EasyCater? Online ordering from great restaurants, tools to save time and stay on budget, digital receipts in one place.
We're gonna need a bigger recycling bin.
EasyCater, the smarter, simpler way to order food for your workplace. Order now at easycater.com.
It's a classic odor tale. You fried fish for dinner, cleaned up, but the smell is still in the house. And the neighbors are coming over for game night. They're on their way. And then you spray Febreze Air Mist. Febreze Air starts working instantly to fight even your toughest odors, so you go from fish to fresh like that. Now, all you have to worry about is Pam cheating at charades.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
Vivid Seats is your ultimate destination for basketball and hockey this season. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every one-timer and buzzer-beating 3 live and in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Don't miss out. Visit VividSeats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Crank it up, Vic. Come on, Rob. Sing it with me. Ready? Come with it now. Oh, the microphone explodes, shattering the mold. Talking bleep like De La Motor, get the bleep off the commode. I couldn't get off the commode.
I'm about to go on it, so I might be joining
That's
y'all.
right. Sure to make the body drop. Yeah, I know it. I know it, Zach. I feel you, man. We're efforting. Apparently, Rob says we've got internet issues, is what the people above have told him. I think that's their way of saying, I don't want to wake up and go fix this. It's the internet's fault.
Yeah. Like, I'll get there when I get
Write
there.
up a ticket.
Yeah. Send it to Portland.
Submit it to the help desk. I mean, we're only a radio station. That's all.
Yeah,
No big deal.
Internet.
Yeah. We'll just
feed the squirrels and let's get that wheel turning. We'll get it going.
Let's blame the old internet. That's the move. Yeah. Like I said, we're working on it. We'll until then, join us over on YouTube. The Morning Huddle on the San Antonio Sports Star page on YouTube, where we've got a good little community of people who tell me that I've got too many opinions, and
yet they still come back.
Well, yeah, because you've got to come back and tell. They got to come back and tell me how stupid I am. What are you thinking, Vic? Of course they got to do that, and then they'll tell me, "Oh, listen how insecure he is." Yeah, those types of things. It's the people that make us feel good about ourselves. You know, I'm very. Rob knows this. I'm a very fragile person.
Well, that's why you.
I don't know.
I don't pay any.
I don't take criticism well at all.
Go into the.
I don't take it well at all.
The sewers that are X.
Oh God, the X is the worst. I'm the worst person in the world, according to some people on X, and I don't even know why. Don't even know why, but they'll tell you how terrible you are. What I found yesterday, we talked about Shedeur Sanders deciding not to throw at the combine. It's becoming like a thing. Ashton Jeanty is now not going to work out at all at the combine. Abdul Carter is not going to do any workouts at the combine. What's the combine for again?
Well, listen, I don't have a problem with this. This is actually not a bad thing.
Then let's just get rid of the combine.
Well, what's the point, quite frankly? I think the combine serves a purpose, but no longer for Ohio State and LSU and Texas, and you name the 50 schools that are in the circuit.
Is Colorado one of those? Is Boise,
maybe not, but I can tell you this, for every Abdul Carter that doesn't show, somebody else gets invited that needs to be seen. I don't think I need to see Abdul Carter run the 40. I got enough film on you name the Georgia lineman. I'm pretty sure I know what he's about. I don't need to see it, and everything I do need to see, if I'm going to draft him, I'll see him personally. What I like about the combine now is there are some dudes that suddenly get an invite. There's somebody that got a call yesterday that wasn't going to be there.
Hey, we got a room opened up.
Well, I mean,
Abdul Carter decided but the thing is, those guys are still going. They're just not going to work out.
Yeah, so let some other guys go run the 40 and go do some things that might not have been available to them. From the HBCUs to the Stephen F's to the Incarnate Words, there's dudes out there that might suddenly get a chance. Because I'll tell you this, 99% of us turn on the Underwear Olympics and it's offensive linemen from Bo Diddley Tech. I don't care. I don't know who any of these people are. I rely on the intelligence of a variety of scouts to tell me, plus the game film, my eye test that I don't have to buy. So I think it's not a terrible thing. We've grown this combine into something be-all, end-all that really, at the end of the day, I don't think has ever really mattered all that much. I mean, Tom Brady still got drafted after that Underwear Olympic performance. So, you know.
But, I mean, the combine has gotten some guys
and I
moved
like
into the
more
first
of
round.
Those guys. And it has also shown true stripes. But that's really more for pro day. And, you know, if your scouts are so desperate for this, I mean, really, are they going to show you something?
I don't know. I do, like, you make a good point about the Abdul Carters of the world, but Ashton Genty spent all year playing against Mountain West teams.
I agree, but
I kind of want to see you do something.
I agree, but this is where, if you're a general manager, shoot, this should not matter. The combine should be basically perfunctory, either proving everything you thought. And if they disprove anything, it better be to the negative. You better know everything about these guys by now. Heck, you're drafting them in a month.
Last year at this time, the Cowboys' motto was all in. They've got a different motto this coming year. We'll talk about that next. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Riding the work with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. It's the Morning Huddle, KTFM Floresville.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radio.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. A great alternative to a mobile phone for your kids. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get 60% off. Free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off.
Okay, I have to tell you. I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest. The last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying. Just beautiful.
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay. Things people love.
Welcome, John, our new admin lead.
Thanks.
You've got your laptop, all your admin apps. Oh, and you'll be in charge of ordering food for the team. So here's your drawer full of menus.
Whoa.
You'll keep your receipts in this file folder. Whoops! Receipt confetti.
Oh, dear.
Oh, and all these sticky notes have everyone's dietary preferences.
Have you tried Easy Cater? Online ordering from great restaurants, tools to save time and stay on budget, digital receipts in one place.
We're gonna need a bigger recycling bin.
Easy Cater, the smarter, simpler way to order food for your workplace. Order now at easycater.com.
Guys, if you're not feeling like yourself anymore, testosterone therapy may be the answer. Look for the VIP treatment like you'll get with the TRT experts at Synergenics Testosterone and Weight Loss. Synergenics has over a decade of TRT experience. Book your appointment at synergenicshealth.com.
The Blitz is going to Vegas. Come along for an unforgettable Mega March weekend at Circa Las Vegas, March 27th through the 30th for opening day and the second weekend of the tournament. Thursday, March 27th, celebrate the start of the baseball season and watch all the games at the world's largest sportsbook, plus the ultimate March Hoops experience. Take in the action in the 6 pools and the 143-foot screen at Stadium Swim. Book now and use promo code BLITZ at circalasvegas.com. And join Jason and Joe at Circa Resort and Casino.
At the Institute for Functional Health, we are dedicated to helping you live life fully. Playing with your kids, golfing, and feeling great without relying on pills. We're not about treating symptoms temporarily. We're about extending your health span, the years you live in good health. I'm Dr. Torres, and for over a decade, my team has transformed lives by tackling health issues at the root. Tired of medications without real answers? Take control of your health with us. Call 210-468-1891 for a free Discovery Day consultation or visit iffhealth.com. Improve your health span today.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-505-9603, 800-505-9603, 800-505-9603.
Joel, it's fantastic to be a local business here in San Antonio.
Sure is, Nigel.
We always say, from the outhouse to the penthouse, we can plumb it and we can cool it.
And all that at a fair price with one easy phone call to 210-651-5899.
See, Joel, I told you I could do it without clowning around.
So what's with the red nose?
You can let go now. That's not funny.
Quarter Moon Plumbing and AC, 210-651-5899.
License number M16004, TACLA 141074E.
George gets justice. After being hit by an 18-wheeler, the experienced attorneys of George Salinas Injury Lawyers are San Antonio's choice for getting you the maximum compensation you deserve. With over 110 years of combined experience, they've recovered millions for their clients. 18-wheelers may be bigger than you on the road, but you can be bigger than them in the courtroom. George guarantees that you don't pay unless they win your case. Call 210-225-0909 today for a free consultation. George gets justice. GetGeorge.com.
Calling all snack MVPs, it's time to huddle up with Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds, the low-carb, high-protein snack with a flavor-packed crunch. From sea salt and cracked black pepper to hot honey, sweet barbecue, and more, these bold bites are ready to tackle your crunch time cravings. Find your flavor playbook at H-E-B and make every bite count. Because when it's crunch time, there's only one snack you need on your team. Southern Recipe Small Batch.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. We've got some road work on 35 northbound from Judson Road up to Topperwine that's taking up 2 left lanes. That's a 45-minute commute. Slow from Loop 410. Sluggish southbound 35 FM 1103 on down to 1604. We've got a stall at 35 southbound Cesar Chavez off to the shoulder. We've also got some ongoing road work in the area. 35 lower level southbound Main to Cesar Chavez. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
San Antonio Sports Center.
The San Antonio Spurs return to action tonight as they take on the New Orleans Pelicans yet again. They look to get some revenge after Sunday night's loss. Tip-off is set for 7, a game you can catch live on FanDuel Sports. Speaking at the NFL Combine, Stephen Jones told reporters the Cowboys will be selectively aggressive this offseason. Cowboys fans remain broadly pessimistic. I'm Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
7:01 on the Morning Huddle. We got a couple pairs of tickets to give away. We'll give away more Yacht Rock review tickets, more Nate Jackson Super Funny World Tour tickets. We'll do that in the 8 o'clock hour. Are we required to do both of those in the 8 a.m. hour, Vic? Why can't we
doesn't matter.
Have some flexibility?
You're the boss.
Am I, though?
Yeah.
Is somebody going to get mad if I give away a pair of those in the 7 o'clock hour?
Nah.
And good news, Brigade Bar, you're getting you're reaping the rewards today. We're giving those things away to the Brigade Bar because, let's face it, no one else can hear them.
Right.
You know, no big deal.
I don't know if we're back up or not.
I don't know. Last year, if you remember, the Cowboys, the motto, the slogan was all in. We're all in. And that saying that bit Jerry in the ass all year. All in, not so much. Because they said all in, and then they didn't do.
What did he end up saying? Maybe my definition of all in is a little bit different than yours.
The thing is, though, with all in, there's really only one definition. And that, so Jerry's wrong.
His all in his all in is how much money do I have? And he was right. His definition of all in was, am I the wealthiest and the most expensive franchise in the world? And yes, I am, despite everything else. So, yeah, he's all in.
Well, I think he lost some money this last year.
Still the most expensive, wealthiest franchise in the world.
All right.
Even looking down at everybody else. And the moment everybody realizes that all in to this Jones family is money, winning is second.
That's true. Well, now, I don't know if they're still all in. I don't know if they pulled some of those chips back.
No, they
not.
hired a big-time public relations company to fix the problem that Jerry has with his fans.
Okay.
And you can tell that their first trial balloon on how we're going to handle the fans this year was sent up by Steven yesterday. The first catchphrase was floated. I promise you that this was kicked around in a couple of meetings. Like, what are you going to say when they ask you about this year because of the all-in. And this phrase was test marketed. It was they had different selected groups to listen to. What do you think of this one?
I'll just tell you what I think. And by the way, the theme this year seems to be selectively aggressive.
We've gone from all in to selectively aggressive, which is a bunch of gibberish.
If they did test that, they didn't test it with me. I don't like the sound of that. It doesn't sound like
we're randomly passive.
Okay, well, yes, we are. But selectively aggressive just feels
That's
like
silliness. It's stupid.
It feels like it's almost already an excuse to have not done something.
Yes,
like
it's the
we were
same
going to do
thing.
this. We were going to go for this if the right opportunity presented, and it just never did.
And we didn't want to didn't feel like we needed to be aggressive enough.
Yeah.
We were selective in our aggression, and we selected not to be aggressive.
We were going to put our balls up on the table and just go for it, but the right opportunity never popped up. Like,
but
we had our paddle in our hand at the auction, ready to,
Isn't every team selectively aggressive?
Seems that way.
I mean, everybody at some point, if you're doing things even remotely the right way, you're selectively aggressive. So this little test marketed term, yeah, it's vanilla, but that's all they can say. You can't go the other way again. You can never tell us, hey, man, we know we got problems. I got a little bit of money. I'm going to spend every dime as fast as I can to make sure I get the talent, and they don't. That would be the right thing to say.
Yeah. Steven said, obviously our goals historically have been to try to fill as many of our musts and needs before the draft so we can take the best player available on draft day, take the best player on the board, which – I mean,
that sounds like a good plan.
Yeah, that's on paper. That's awesome.
See, the plan is.
He says we didn't get that totally accomplished last year, but certainly that's always the goal. And every year is different in terms of what those musts and needs are. And then you also have to marry what's in free agency versus where the draft is heavy and where we can help ourselves in the draft. Now, this was the other news. They asked him about Micah Parsons. They haven't even started talking to his agent about an extension.
Why?
They're being selectively aggressive. I mean, that's Rob. My answer to everything now for the Cowboys. Why haven't they done this? Well,
we have.
They're being selectively
not to be aggressive today.
Yeah, it's selective.
Today we're randomly passive. What kind of negotiation do you think there's going to be? Micah Parsons is going to go. His agent's going to go, how much money you got?
Yeah.
There's no negotiating. This is the dollar amount. This is what I'm going to get. And if I don't get it from you, franchise me until I leave. Yeah. There's no negotiating in this.
I will say, I think that if I'm Micah, I'm in no rush.
No, why?
Because you can I look how they handled Dak, and I say, I hope they do the same thing with me. I hope that T.J. Watt gets his money. I hope that Max Crosby gets his money, and then I go to Jerry and say, I want more. And then the day before the season starts, they give me whatever I want.
And now it's up to Steven to start.
Selectively aggressively.
Well, you need to be aggressive. It's up to the Jones to start throwing some dollars out there. It's up to them. It's not up to Micah to say, hey, this is what I want. No. You start throwing the numbers out. I know exactly what I'm going to get. Let's just see where we are. I'm not opening the bid. You do.
It says there's always, this was Steven again, there's always extenuating circumstances to these things. Every contract negotiation is different. With CD, there were other receivers trying to get their deals done, and some of them still haven't gotten those deals done. The CD deal was just different. We'll just see how the Micah deal goes. I don't necessarily know that there's a lot of extenuating circumstances out there that would prevent us from being able to get our hands around something like Micah, but we'll see.
I'm going to ask you a question. How much is Micah worth to you? Not to Jerry, not just as a football player, but to his own self-worth, the idea of who the Cowboys are and going to be. How much is Micah worth to Jerry? Is it the most important thing out there?
Micah should be the face of this franchise. Now, you've already kind of made that mistake, and once you pay your quarterback more money than everyone, he is almost by default the face of the franchise.
So do you now, knowing that, sacrifice everything else? Either you're going to have to sacrifice everything else and go get him now, or this is going to have to be a slow and painful negotiation that you're going to end up losing dudes and losing some fans, or do you just go out and godfather him now? Legit, do you just go out and, you know what, I made a mistake, but the next right thing I do will be to get this guy forever. And I'm not sure that's the right thing. Actually, I'm kind of looking at this a little bit further down the road, thinking there's not enough room in the corral for both Micah and Dak. That's kind of how I feel.
I kind of think you –
but I'm not sure. If at some point you got to plant your flag and say, this is who we are. And if it's not Micah, then move on. You know, Dak, ain't the answer. You made a mistake. So the next step's the best step. I don't know what you do, but I do think that staying static and being selectively aggressive sounds right. Unless you're a team that's close. You're not close. You're not close.
No, but you are also – you're kind of stuck where you are. Like you aren't gonna the things that could really make you get better they're not in house.
I've watched guys get traded. There's enough out there. If you truly want to shake the apple tree, you can do it. I mean, if you truly feel like we're close and you believe it, you can go get stuff done. I've watched the Rams do it. I've watched repeatedly the upper echelon teams go find the right guys. I see the Chiefs find talent and they're paying guys as much money or more than the Cowboys are. So if you want to do it, they can do it. And I think that's what's so exasperating about Cowboy fandom is we know it's possible. You just are choosing not to do it.
Christopher says, Parsons, no way it's the face of the Cowboys. He doesn't show up in the playoffs. Who is the Cowboy who has been showing up in the playoffs?
We only get one attempt a year. It's not like they've had a lot of shot at being good in the playoffs.
Give me the guy give me the Cowboys playoff hero these days.
I don't know, man. Tell me you're in on Parsons. Tell me you're out on Parsons. Just tell me. I don't know. But if you're gonna string this out, this selective aggression that you're gonna practice isn't gonna turn out well, man. We know it. We've seen it happen over and over. And if you do this, you'll end up doing something desperately at 11:59, like you did with Dak.
This decision would be so much easier had they handled the Dak thing properly. And when I say handled the Dak thing properly, there's one of two things they could have done. They could have paid Dak way before they did, where he wasn't such an albatross at this point, or they could have just not paid Dak. And either way, they'd be in a better position than they are today. They would have more. They'd have more wiggle room to be selectively aggressive.
Yes, but now you have to fix the problem. I mean, what's done is done. You turn the page and go, okay, what is the next step to get us out of this horrible mistake we had? And I'm not sure it's good money after bad. It might be. The best thing you could do might be to leverage yourself to the hilt, spend every credit card, do everything you can, and go, it ain't going to get any better than this, at least with our quarterback and our wide receiver and this outside edge rusher. Let's do everything, go nearly bankrupt, kind of like what the Rams did, and just go, this is it. Or it's time to start dismantling the boat. And right now, selective aggression tells me they're going to do neither.
Well, obviously Micah Parsons is the big situation, but Micah Parsons is guaranteed to be on the team next year.
Yeah.
Now, but guys like Osa and
free agents. I'm talking about the selective aggression. You take every penny and you max that penny and you go, I don't know how I'm going to manage this in 3 years. I'll worry about it then. I'm paying you now.
Well, that's what the Saints have done for years and years and years. And I mean, they're in cap hell now, but the Rams too, by the way.
There's always a fix.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
The league is set to keep this thing moving. They're not going to let you die in the water.
The problem is guys like DeMarcus Lawrence, let's say they don't bring back DeMarcus Lawrence. Let's just say for whatever reason they decide we're going to let him walk away.
You mean like act smart and do the right thing?
But you know what? Even if he's not on the team, he's $7 million to the cap next year. Zach Martin, who is retired, is almost $10 million towards the cap next year. It's like you can be selectively aggressive, but when Jerry hears that, he's going to be like, well, we can't do this because we're already in for this.
Well, look over the hill, Jerry. Yeah, this sucks this year. Deal with it. But at least next year, you're not going to have to worry about it. But if you are, in fact, believe that you're close and you can be selectively aggressive and get there, well, go do it. But that's not the answer.
Yeah.
Selective aggression is just a passive form for, well, we'll see what happens.
The idea that the Cowboys, again, I think everything kind of hinges to Micah, because if you pay Micah what Micah's market value is, which is probably the highest paid defensive player in the league, you can't really afford to go out and get other free agents. So,
not now, but Micah either has to be the first thing you do or the very last.
Exactly.
And I don't know, given what the Dak thing, I think they've painted themselves into it's the last thing, but the ideal thing is the first thing. You'll save money.
But that's not how the Cowboys operate.
That's not how the Cowboys work, because they're always reacting to the last bad contract they just dealt with.
I still think that the Cowboys, even though Micah Parsons is, to me, he's unquestionably the best player on the team, the best thing you can do is trade Micah Parsons for a haul.
A bevy of picks and players. It's worked before. It's happened many times, and you won't be looked at sideways as doing something radical.
The thing that sucks about it the most is Micah Parsons is like, he's the one he says all the right things. He's like, I'm not really worried about money. I want to be a Cowboy for life. Like, that's the kind of guys you really want to reward, but I don't know that you can because of what they did with Dak. And it's just painted them into this weird spot.
Micah's a hell of a player, but let's not deify him. He has run out of gas at the end of seasons. I remember last year doing, the team's practicing doing OTAs, and he's doing some kind of Japanese wrestling practice, doing that kind of, what do you do? So there are some reasons where you go, yeah, I know you're the best player on my team, but are you really the face of my franchise? If you're doing stuff like this and you're doing the podcast, are you really all of it? Because I'm going to pay you like you're all of it. If you're going to be here, you're going to be paid like you are right next to Steven, my next son. It's going to be me, Steven, Jerry, Dak, and you. That's who we are. We're married to each other. I don't know if he has represented himself to sit in that booth, and I'm not sure Jerry's ready for that.
I think that I'm with you, but I also think that when you say don't deify,
well, he
Micah
is the
Parsons,
best player, but there are some reasons there are some things that
is
as
there a reason
Cowboy,
to not keep him?
Well, I could negotiate
outside of money.
Well, the salary cap in itself. If I pay you, then you know what I mean. You're alone.
Okay.
So
I get that. I get the money thing, but
personally, he has done nothing to leave. The podcast isn't enough to be mad at him, but there's a sum total of little things where you're skipping OTAs and you're doing sumo wrestling and you're doing this and that, and you run out of gas at the end of years. And there's always an excuse for Micah. There's never it's on me. It's always something. So there are some little things that when I talk to him, I'm like, if I'm gonna pay you all this, there's a little bit more that I need. At least
you
Dak
were over the sumo wrestling thing. You're still not over
that.
Huh?
He did perform all the way to game 14, 15, 16. And years prior to that, that was a problem.
What if he was playing tennis in the offseason? Would that upset you?
It wouldn't upset me if it was on his own time. Keep in mind, the other teams were practicing, and he was, we jump on Aaron Rodgers for licking frogs someplace. He's out doing sumo practice in Austin.
Exercising.
Well, Aaron could go, at least it's vegan. You could give an excuse for just about any of it.
All right, let's hit a break. We'll be back. It's the Morning Huddle 94.1.
I owe you who do I owe? Dr. Jacob Torres is my doctor. I'm going to tell you real quick about the Institute for Functional Health. The Institute is kind of an interesting name, but it is a perfect one for what they do, because it's not just about weight loss. It's not just that they're general practitioners. It is an institute for good-feeling folks. When you walk in there, they handle everything that makes you feel better about yourself, whether it's rehab or weight loss or any of the aesthetics or just your visit to your friendly neighborhood doctor. That's what goes on with Dr. Torres' practice. I love going there. I love being a part of the process, and you're certainly part of the process with Dr. Torres, because he puts together programs that are individual, just set aside just for you. Now, losing weight, there's a basic formula to it. You burn more calories than you take in at the end of the day. That's the answer. But how that is manifested is really where success is measured. And Dr. Torres can measure his success with thousands of people just like me, just like you, who didn't think they could lose weight, who didn't think it could actually happen for them, and it can, and it has for many, many folks. If you decide to do it, it will work. I tell everybody, this isn't the easiest thing I've ever done. I'll tell you what, though, it's the absolute best. So if it's time for you to lose weight and you've never really had much success and you want to find a way to get the motivation, the help, and you don't want to spend a bunch of money on monthly shots and all that kind of stuff, you want to do it the old-fashioned way that will work and will stay with you, call Dr. Torres today. I'm living proof. 8 years with him, down nearly 80 pounds, still with him, not going anywhere because that lifestyle is the lifestyle that's going to keep me kicking for a long time. Call him today and find out. The number's 210-468-1891. His website, it's easy to find, iffhealth.com. Go there, do your due diligence, read it, answer the questions. You'll find out. You need to call him. Call him today, change your life. And when you do, come on by and thank me later.
If you've been waiting to hear Macy's winter clearance, now's the time. Get everything you've been eyeing all season long at prices that are worth the wait. How good? Think 40 to 70% off coats, sweaters, boots, and more. Plus, come in and get an extra 20% off all your clearance purchases. That's up to 75% off. So if you've been waiting to treat yourself to something cute and cozy, hurry into Macy's now, because you're not the only one ready to score amazing winter deals. Savings off already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
At the Home Depot, it's our business to support yours. Partner with your go-to source for building your business. We can help you streamline your operations by supplying the whole job from start to finish. Any questions? Our Pro Desk is ready to answer the call with supply sourcing, custom orders, large equipment rentals, and more. Elevate your efficiency and take on more projects with the partner you can trust. The Home Depot, how pros get more done.
I occasionally have nerve discomfort in my hands, so the things I love to do...
Let's play something, Grandma.
...became difficult as I got older.
If you have occasional stabbing and burning in your hands and feet, try Nervive Nerve Relief. Nervive's clinically studied dose of alpha-lipoic acid reduces occasional nerve discomfort in as little as 7 days with continued daily use. Say yes to healthy nerves with Nervive Nerve Relief.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text BAIL to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
Guys, if you're feeling tired or low on energy, it could be your testosterone. Game Day Men's Health in Alamo Heights offers a simple 3-step process to get you back to feeling your best. Call 210-900-3691. That's Game Day Men's Health, 210-900-3691.
Progressive knows finding your new home was a dream come true. You wanted it close to town, with a picture window overlooking a yard. And you found it. Now, when you sit down to dinner, you've got front row seats too. Your neighbor's daily pickleball game. Progressive can't save you from your noisy neighbors, but we can save you money when you bundle your home and auto with us. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
For 70 years, we've been known as the Humane Society of the United States. But as the challenges animals face have grown, so have we. We are now called Humane World for Animals. And with you on our side, we are going to end animal cruelty around the globe. Join us. Humane World for Animals. The end of animal cruelty.
T-Mobile 5G home internet keeps getting better. Get our fastest connection loaded with benefits. Get T-Mobile's best home internet starting at $55 a month with auto pay and any voice line. Plus, Price Lock. We won't raise your rate on internet. Check availability at T-Mobile.com/home internet.
Exclusions like taxes and fees apply. Guarantees regular monthly rate plan price of fixed wireless 5G internet data with qualifying service. After $15 bill credit with postpaid voice line plus $5 a month without auto pay with debit or bank account. Regulatory fees included for qualifying accounts. $35 connection charge applies. Speeds vary due to factors affecting cellular networks.
With basketball season in full swing, make watching the game a little bit more exciting with your chance to win money with Underdog, one of the leading sports apps, and you can play in Texas. You could win up to 1,000 times your money with Underdog. Playing the pick pick'em game where you pick higher or lower on predicted stats. You can play with as little as $1, and if you get everything right on your pick'em entry, you could win up to 1,000 times your money. Yep, turn $1 into 1,000 with your hoops knowledge. Download the Underdog app and sign up using my promo code STAR to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Arizona and Massachusetts, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Void in Colorado. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. In Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT-STEP to 53342. In New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
If you miss the Blitz with Jason and Joe, then you miss this.
My daughter is having a gender reveal.
With air quotes. You just went air quotes.
Dude.
What are you, Stephen Jones?
Well, yes. I told her, unless she's blowing that smoke out of her behind.
Whoa.
Dude, that's the best gender reveal I've ever seen.
You don't want to see that from your daughter?
I've heard it. Might as well be a little blue or pink smoke coming out of that thing.
Right home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6 on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. You're listening to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Morning Huddle 94.1. Let's go ahead and let's do one, man. Let's do one. Let's do the Yacht Rock review.
All right.
March 5th at the Aztec Theater. I'd like to welcome you guys. I'd like to welcome the Brigade Bar to go see the Yacht Rock review. What should be our I've got it. Rob and I were dealing with the same an issue to the same parts of our body this morning, which almost made us unable to work.
Yeah.
I mean, if I had known the radio wasn't going to be on today, I would have just stayed home in bed with this issue.
Any idea?
I know.
But
right?
Rob and I, the same part of our body is bothering both of us. First person in the Brigade Bar to let us know what it is. You'll get tickets to the Yacht Rock review on March 5th at the Aztec Theater. And if you are not that lucky winner, you can still get tickets if you don't want them at livenation.com. There you go, Raul.
There it is.
Raul is the big winner. It is, see, Frank said back. You guys are old, but no.
That's true.
It's our
bowels.
guts.
It's a good guess, though.
The bowels.
It's the guts. Our gastrointestinal systems are compromised because of the guy who came to town with measles, I believe.
Was the guy?
I don't know.
I
Probably was a woman.
That's a student looking for a new school.
Well, still, what do you call that?
I don't know.
You can't call him a guy?
I don't know.
I
don't know if it was a guy or not.
I don't know his pronouns.
I don't care, but I was just...
Him, her, measles. That's what it should be. Him/measles. I'm against that pronoun. You come in with measles, I'm out on you. B. Hannon says, drink some kombucha. I hate kombucha.
Like drinking mud.
I don't like it. I don't like the way it tastes.
Dirt.
I had guys that I trained with who post-training, they would have that. And I'm like, oh.
No, that's...
vile.
I don't... who was the first person that drank that is really my question. Somebody said, you know what, I'm going to drink this.
It had to have happened in China.
I'm going to drink this.
It's the same way COVID was invented. China was trying to
watch me.
They were trying to invent the new kombucha when they created COVID, actually. I think that's what happened.
What's the Shilajit? Is that how you say
I don't
it?
think you can say that on the air.
That oily stuff.
I don't know.
I had a friend that swore by this.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know.
What does it do?
I don't know.
Does it make your stomach feel better?
No, I don't. I think it's the opposite. I think it actually brings it on.
Oh.
Toughens you up.
Oh. Well, I don't want that. That's the last thing I need is to bring it on. I'm fighting the good fight right now. I don't know how much longer I'll be able to fight the good fight. Coming up at the in the next segment, we're going to talk about the tush push proposal. And there's a lot of controversy about this.
There's a lot of self-righteous. I don't know.
You know what? I can see the argument on both. There's good and bad people on both sides. Both sides. You know, some people very bad tush pushers, but also very good.
I just wish that the organization that submitted the proposal to end the tush push would have been open about it. I don't understand why you're dancing around behind the scenes.
Well, I felt like a year ago everybody was open about it, and then they said, no, we're still going to work out.
A bunch of pansies. So one team was still anti.
Yeah.
And wanted to remain silent.
Yeah, they wanted to shrouded in secrecy.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. That's silly, but I would just own it and say,
you know what? I'm going to just say it. They're right. And I know the counter argument. I get it. But the fact of the matter is it's a competitive imbalance. It just is. And like in Shaq was a competitive imbalance. You know what they did? They changed the rules.
Yeah.
It wasn't fair. It wasn't right. And the typical reaction was the same. If you don't like it, stop it. Well, yeah, we can't. No one can.
No. We'll get into that discussion next. And the reasons why I am I'm torn on it, but I think I'm kind of against the tush push, even though the Bills used that play more than anyone not named Philly.
And I'm not going to dance around if people get hurt. It ain't that. It's a competitive imbalance. And right, wrong, and different, when you have one team that can function on a 1st and 8 platform and everybody else does a 1st and 10 platform, it just is a competitive imbalance. And guess what? Congratulations, Philadelphia. You did it.
But isn't everybody allowed to do it?
Well, yes, but congratulations. You've come up with something that nobody can emulate. You have something that would take literally years to figure out and get. You have to have a quarterback that's capable. You happen to have the line that's able to do it. And a combination of all that has allowed you to do this. And you've done it so well. But we have to not let you do this anymore. You're Shaq.
Well, at what point was, like, I know there'd been running quarterbacks before, but when Mike Vick showed up, it was like, there'd never been a team that had a quarterback that was faster.
This isn't about individual. This is about
it doesn't work without Jalen Hurts.
Well, you might be right, but I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying it's so right that it has thrown the competitive balance of the league off. It just has, and it's probably a temporary thing. As soon as Hurts is done, there's not going to be a lot of teams that are going to try to do this on the regular, but you have something that nobody else has, and I'll be damned, we can't stop it. It really is affecting the balance of the game.
Well, we'll dive into this conversation, and I'll make the argument against it on the other side. It is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
I hope you felt good this morning getting up, nothing paining you, keeping you out of your life, and if you are, carry on about your day. But if you're like most of us, there's probably something hanging on. It might be a bad knee, trick knee. Maybe you pulled something last weekend working the honeydew list, or maybe it's one of those things you can't lift your right shoulder above your neck. If you're dealing with those kind of things, there is a fix out there that's right under your nose. It's called a Rosti. Now, I know the name is interesting, but I'll tell you what it stands for is relief. Rosti providers are all around San Antonio. They have gained this certification after they are already medical professionals. So doctors and physical therapists and chiropractors, to name a few, go achieve the Rosti certification. And what does that do for you? Well, Rosti is a way of treating pain in a unique manner. It's not about pills. It's not about painkillers. It's not about surgery. It's about your body fixing itself. That's the best way I can describe it. And I'll be darned if it doesn't work. My lower back's been an issue with me for most of my adult life. And, normally it would go out and I'd have to lay on my back for a couple of weeks. Well, that changed when I first walked into a Rosti that very first time. They attacked the problem, not the symptom, and they fixed the problem. And the pain went away. So if you're dealing with pain, don't wait. Call them today. The sooner you start, the sooner you'll feel better. The number you need is 1-800-404-6050. You can go ahead and write it down and use it because you don't need a referral to go see an Rosti provider. Call them now, and if you got your insurance, they accept most health insurances as well. So don't let pain keep you from doing the things that you love. Call a Rosti today. They're going to get you taken care of, and they're going to get you taken care of fast. And when they do, come on by, and you can thank me later.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. Looks like a new trouble spot on I-10 upper level eastbound Culebra. Disabled vehicle that's broken down in the right lane. 35 northbound Judson to Tupperwine. That's some ongoing road work. 2 left lanes are blocked. This is a 40-minute commute. It's got you slow from Loop 410. A stall at 35 southbound Cesar Chavez off to the shoulder right where all that road work is going on. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
South Texas, get ready for the ultimate sports talk experience. The one and only Rich Eisen is on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. Every weekday, noon to 2 p.m. With over 20 years of NFL experience, Rich Eisen brings breaking stories, expert analysis, and exclusive interviews with sports legends to your airwaves with unmatched wit, insight, and passion. Catch all the action every weekday, noon to 2 p.m. The Rich Eisen Show, only on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
This report is sponsored by Rocket. If you feel like owning a home is out of reach, Rocket is here to give you back the keys because they believe everyone deserves a shot at the American dream. Own the dream. Visit rocket.com or call 800-4ROCKET. Again, that's rocket.com or call 800-4ROCKET.
You know the Roo Pub is proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best place to watch a game. Just down from the big blind, right next to the Angry Elephant. The Roo Pub, 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Hi, my name is Jason Thompson. I'm an attorney here in San Antonio where I've practiced for more than 30 years. And San Antonio has really grown since I started practicing law. The risk of injury in a car crash today is greater than it's ever been because every day we're forced to share our roads with 80,000-pound 18-wheelers and some truly dangerous drivers. If you or a family member is injured in a car crash, know this. The insurance companies are mobilized against you. They have highly trained adjusters and a long roster of attorneys with one job: pay as little as possible. Their techniques are extensive, and I believe you have zero chance of obtaining a fair recovery on your own. If you're involved in a car crash, you need to hire an attorney as soon as possible after the collision and before you speak to the insurance company's adjusters. Now, I do not have a comic book nickname. I do not call myself the Law Eagle, the Tiger Lawyer, the Law Chupacabra. I think the practice of law needs to be taken more seriously. If you've been injured, call me, Jason Thompson, for a free consultation. My number is 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400, or my website, alawyerforus.com.
Hi, everybody. It's Joe Reinagel. You know, now is a great time of year to get your roof inspected and ready for our crazy spring weather. Be it hot, cold, rain, or hail, who knows what Mother Nature has in store for us this year. Call Stevens Roofing at 210-785-0994. You know, your roof protects your home and your family. A quality roof overhead means comfort, confidence, and certainly peace of mind. Now is the time to get your roof ready for spring. Call Stevens Roofing at 210-785-0994 or go to stevensroofing.net.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-505-9603, 800-505-9603, 800-505-9603.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you get coverage options based on how much you want to pay for car insurance. And then you decide how to spend the rest of your money, because you're in charge. Today, you're going to pay down your credit card bill. But you decide when you'll pay it. Before the due date, so those interest charges don't get you. But you decide if you pay it in full. But you definitely should, because again, interest charges. With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, we'll help you find coverage at a fair price. And then you're in charge. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Dell Technologies is celebrating with anniversary savings on their most popular tech. For a limited time only, save on select next-gen PCs like the XPS 16, powered by Intel Core Ultra processors and more. Plus, curate your dream setup with great deals on select monitors, mice, and more must-have electronics and accessories. When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to leading-edge technology to match your forward-thinking spirit and free shipping on everything. Again, that's Dell.com/deals.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is back. Monday, April 14th at the Golf Club of Texas. Get your squad now. $120 per person or $400 per foursome. The Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Pan American Golf Association, is presented by Flight by Yingling, sponsored in part by Ensira.com. The Spring Golf Classic, Monday, April 14th. Sign up now at sasportstar.com.
This is Jason Minix, and you're listening to the home of the Texas Rangers, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the competitive balance that's thrown off. That's what the Green Bay Packers are saying. The tush push ain't fair. Welcome back to the Morning Huddle. I'm Rob. AJ is staggering back in, zipping his pants up as we speak.
Oh, man.
We're talking, this is an interesting thing because so many people take a very violent stand. If you can't stop it, then find a way to stop it. You should be allowed to do it. And, hey, man, I get it. They're better at it. This is something that works. I'm not mad at them, but it works so well.
Here's what I don't like about it. Let's be consistent with the rules, because you're not even allowed to use. Like, you're not allowed to push off of a teammate to block a kick.
Right. You can't rise yourself up. You can't use leverage.
In no other part of the game are you allowed to do this. Yet now, in this one instance, we're saying, okay, well, this is okay.
Right. I get this. They found the space between the rules. They found a little gap. I love it. They didn't invent anything new. They just found something nobody else had done, and they had the manpower to do it. And you've had a couple of years to do it. And guess what? After 2 years of other teams trying to stop it, no one has. So there comes a time when you go, well, we're going to have to fix this. You won the Super Bowl. You didn't do it just because of that, but you did win it because of it.
Yeah.
Let's not dance around it. That we kind of got to even the race a little bit.
I don't even know. That part I don't have a problem with. If we're going to do that, then let's just make it across the board. You're allowed to push and use leverage. Like, you should be able to do it to block kicks. You should be able to do it, period.
You shouldn't be able to do it. There's a reason why. There's more than one reason. There's leverage. There's injuries. There's a lot of things that gives you an unhealthy advantage given the situation.
Which, by the way, what's the one thing that has made the most rule changes in the NFL over the last 15 years? Like, there's one thing.
It's about safety.
Safety of quarterbacks, particularly, is like at the top of every rule. Like, you could say, okay, well, we're going to do this because it's to protect the quarterback. This play is very dangerous for a quarterback. Yet we're like, okay.
I mean, I'm not saying outlaw a quarterback sneak. I'm not saying outlaw, you can bring another dude in, a 250-pound linebacker to take a snap and run. That's okay. It's not that. It is this play design, the way that it is utilized. It's the get low, the rugby scrum kind of thing. It works too well. Now, they're going to use the auspices of safety. That's going to be the reason that if it does in fact get banned, it won't be because of player or team equity. It'll be because they're going to find a reason some guys are getting hurt. That's how you can, you hang. But that's not really the reason why they want to get it done. It's because
teams are tired of it.
It's a competitive imbalance. We can't stop it. No one can. We're 2 years into this, 3 years into it, and we still haven't figured out how to. And I can't name the number of times you've prolonged a drive, you've saved a game because of this. And all the people that are pro this, you're right. They do it better. It's not illegal. It should be, though.
Well, It is not a surprise, particularly that the Green Bay Packers are one of the teams who doesn't like this, because the Green Bay Packers faced the Eagles twice last year, and including once in the playoffs. They lost to them twice last year, including once in the playoffs.
You get the sour grapes part of this. I mean, it's hard to argue this other than saying you're so good at it that we just can't let you do it. Yeah. That's just kind of it. It's not fair. It's not just. But if we're going to have a competitive market, a competitive league that keeps fans involved, you got to make sure that the playing field remains as level as possible given the rules. That doesn't mean you can't recruit and go get big dudes to do big things, but this just seems a little awkward.
And at some point, though, the rules just shift and we get used to this thing, and eventually everybody will do this. But, think about the Euro step. How many travels would get called if today's game was being played in 1980?
Well, it took one guy to go, look, over and over, until everybody looked at it and said, well, really, there's nothing wrong here.
Right. But you agree that if a game today was being called by 1980 standards, there'd just be traveling all the time.
There would be for a couple of weeks until the refs saw the film and went, that's not traveling. But, yeah, you look at it and you go, you found the space between the rules.
Yes.
That's awesome. You found the space. That's easily fixable because everybody can do that. Everybody can learn to take a sideways step instead of a forward step. I mean, it's not that hard. We're talking about finding a quarterback. We're, 3 offensive linemen, the leverage involved, all the things that go into this that teams just can't go, well, let's do this now. You just can't decide that. On the other side of that, there's a lot of teams that don't even want to do it. Yeah. And I get Philly going, if everybody was trying and nobody could do it, I can get you outlawed. But there's teams I heard the example of Matt Stafford. Matt Stafford's teams are never going to be doing any kind of tush-push work, So I get what Philly's saying. There is no justification for what I believe other than, look, you're so good at it, it's just not fair.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a namby-pamby way out of it, but it's true.
But if I lost to the same team twice last year, I'd be like, you know what, this is
And it's unfortunate it's the Packers that are being forced to step up and say all this. When, like you said, last year, half the league was kind of upset with it, and now the Packers, the one team that lost twice to them, that really has a bone to, that will be listened to, other than, say, the Cowboys or the Giants, which you guys suck anyway.
The Cowboys lost to them twice.
That's what I'm saying. But the Cowboys lost to them, but they suck, and the Giants lost, but they suck. But the Packers are good enough to make an excuse. Well, wait a minute, it was the Packers.
The Cowboys lost their 2 games against Philly by a combined 75-17 last year. I blame the tush-push. Yeah, that's what it was. That's the only reason the Cowboys lost those games. They were going to win, but Eagles were cheating, basically.
And if the league gets together and they say, no, this is stupid, this is a good thing, I wouldn't be upset with it. They are that good at it. But if you ask me, I saw in the Brigade Bar, they said, well, they changed the rules, but they didn't try to keep Shaq from scoring. I think that's why they changed the rules, to keep Shaq from scoring, to get him out of the paint.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to be able to run a zone now, and we're going to do everything we can to have 3 and 4 guys hanging on him to keep him from scoring. Because as it sits now, as the rules are constructed, Shaq could go get 50 a night.
Like I said, I mean, no team. I cheer openly for the Bills. There is no team that uses it. The Eagles are the only team that use it more than the Bills, and I'm just like, you can find other ways. And again, my biggest bitch about it is that you can't do it in any other part of football. That's just, you're never allowed to push someone forward like that in any other part of football. But here, all of a sudden, you're allowed to put 2 hands on a player and use leverage, and it just doesn't make sense. It's not fluid with the rest of the game.
It's good lawyering. They found the space. They found that little area where there's no air in the room, and they filled it.
Well, what do you think happens long term? Do you think this thing goes away?
No, I think the league is going to look at it and go,
didn't they already look at it?
Yeah, they talked about it last year. I don't see a change, although now that we've got a new Super Bowl champion and a team that's been there twice, the one that's doing it, you kind of go, well, I get the argument that there's a competitive imbalance. I mean, they've been to the Super Bowl 2 of the last 3 years, and they won 1. I mean, with a quarterback that is built to do this. Yeah. So they have every defense. But I do think if I'm the commish, if I'm the competitive committee, I go, yeah, it's kind of getting out of hand, though.
So who is it said? Somebody said something about pulling players forward over the line. Jeff says, so why can linemen pull players over the line? You can't stop it. You're not allowed to do that. Like, that's supposed to be a penalty,
I think
too.
you can pull, you can't push.
No, you can't
You
pull.
can push, you can't pull.
Yeah. You can't. And, again, you're allowed to push now, but that wasn't always the case until, again, this was kind of exploded.
Crackback blocks used to be legal. I mean, we change the rules all the time. I mean, it's just
when Reggie Bush, the Bush push, when it first started, like, there were people who were flipping out because that was clearly should have been a penalty at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's just kind of like accepted that that's part of the game. It probably won't be long before pulling is accepted as part of the game, pulling guys forward, which
if it adds to the competitive nature of the game, I'm all for it. I don't care what it is. If it takes away from it, we need to discuss. And then whether it requires all of the teams to adjust to this before it feels equal, that's one thing. Or you just eliminate the issue. And the rest of the 31 teams that don't do this very well don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
I'm of the nature, like, let's just carry on. It's only a small facet of the game, but it's big enough to where it does affect.
People
it does matter.
Freaking out about it. I don't really care one way or the other, quite frankly. I do think it's kind of funny that there's teams who are like trying to secretly say we got to get rid of this. We got to change this rule. It's not fair.
I'm trying to get my ass kicked. I don't like this, man. I don't like it. I can't prepare for it. So let's get rid of it. I know what it looks like.
We don't want to invest in offensive line.
Well,
all right?
If you're appealing
to play
to
7-on-7,
it sounds crazy, but that's true. I mean, you got teams out there going, it's hard enough to put together a team, and now I have to go invest in a 400-pound two technique to prepare for this because the only way I can ever stop this is if I put some kind of road grader, to stop this press. As I keep talking, the more I'm against it.
I'll tell you what, I'm not. I'll be for this because here's my biggest issue with that play is you can't really tell where the ball is.
That's the other part of it.
Once we get this technology that will actually let us know where the ball is, so when Josh Allen runs for a first down, you can't just lie and say that he didn't in the AFC Championship game, so the Chiefs can go to the Super Bowl. As soon as we get rid of that, then we can start worrying about because I want to know exactly where the ball gets to in these situations.
You know what? That is a viable concern.
And when Jalen Hurts is tucked in down at the bottom of the pile, you don't know where that ball is. It's just a guessing game. And the NFL, there's too much money invested in it that it should be ever a guessing game. Like, we can't just look at it and say, well, you can't really see where the ball is, Jim, but they're going to give it to him. It looks like they're going to give it to him. Like, I don't want that.
AJ, we say that, but we don't want that.
I do want that. I want to know where the ball is.
We don't. We want the
you want the chain gang?
We want
like it's 1940
of the Immaculate Conception. An Immaculate Conception, the Immaculate Reception. We want the vagaries. We need it. We like the space in between the lines.
I don't. I just want to know, like, hey, did you do like in basketball, the ball goes through the rim or it doesn't. Like, there's no maybe I don't know if that went no, it went in. No. You get points for it.
They still
did the ball cross the line or not?
They still moved. We like the vagaries. Or the leagues would have already fixed this because the answer's there. The fix is there. I've seen it.
I know. Yeah. Listen, you look at Next Gen Stats, and they can tell you how fast the ball was, how many times it spun, but they can't tell you exactly where it was on the field. Come on, friend.
The part of we're getting lost in the weeds here, but when the Alliance League came around a couple years back, they were on the forefront of this technology. They had chips in the ball, they had chips in the cleats, they had chips in the shoulder pads. They knew where the ball was. They knew how fast you were running, and they were transmitting that to you as a fan. So the technology's there. The league has it in front of them. They don't want it because they like the vagaries. They want to be able to have some wiggle room in case something like this comes up and you go, well, this doesn't feel right. Maybe we should just go with a feeling instead of a fact. And I think more times than not, feelings over facts sell more tickets.
Yeah. No,
but gamblers,
I want to know. Yeah. I just want to know. And plus, listen, it'll cut out the cheating. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of any discussions about what was their fix in or anything like that. We don't need that.
Well, if you've seen what's going on at Fresno State right now.
Oh, man.
Yes, sir.
Let's go. Listen, it ain't just Fresno State. It's a lot of places. Yeah. I bet on Fresno State like last week. I'm pissed about it.
Maybe you should take your ticket and get
I should get a refund.
Well, they were betting the unders.
Yeah. do need a refund. Luis says he loves the Bills hat. Thank you, friend.
There's like 6 or 7 of those in the state of Texas.
Yeah, there's not many. There's not many. But yeah, I've been I have my buddy in Vegas who is, I think he's the only other person who cares about the Vegas hockey team and the Buffalo football team.
That's a rare combination.
And that's all we talk about. We don't talk about anything else in the world. It's just those two things. And I'm like, I think you're the only person I can discuss these things with, and like that cares about both of them at the same time. We're the only ones in the world. All right. We are about halfway through the show. I've had some distress already in the first half of the show. I can tell you now there's going to be a moment in the second half of the show where that distress pops back up. And Rob and Vic will be left in here to vamp for me for a couple minutes. I'm
good now.
You know,
I went as fast as I could, but it's like, my goodness.
You can't rush that.
You can't. Like, there's more to go. And that's just what I should have called in. I should have never come.
Did y'all use a restroom, a public restroom at any point?
I hate using public restrooms.
Yeah, I don't either.
I hate it.
For this reason.
I blame this on the Moody Center.
You think?
Yeah, there's
the pie. It has to be the pie.
Some kind of funk on all that orange stuff in there.
No, I think it might have been when you were yelling whoop at that dog.
Well, they kept showing that beautiful animal up there on the big screen. Yeah. What am I supposed to do?
I don't know.
Beautiful
I don't know,
beast.
Rob. I guess you just have to whoop when you see a dog like that.
It's kind of I can't help it.
You were the only one.
Well, I'm sure I wasn't the only one.
The only one I heard. The only one that was sitting right next to me. You doing it?
Only one brave enough to yell in Mario Ellie's ear.
A true hero. A true hero you are.
Give him a little whoop.
There were a bunch of other Aggies sitting around looking at Rob like, yeah,
fight the good fight.
You
brother.
did it, man. You
now
did
they're
it.
going to infect you with
Closet Aggies.
With the
Rob's got a burn mark on his back where the seat had that orange Longhorn head on it.
Every seat had a Longhorn embroidered into the back.
Every seat in the building has, and I asked Rob, I was like, what do you think it costs to get every seat in this building have a Longhorn head sewn on it?
$100 a shot.
I can't even imagine, but it's like all the seats that are like,
how many seats are in there?
20-something thousand. But it's not just the stands. It's like, if there's a seat in the press conference room, if there's seats that the security sits on around, like every seat in the building has that orange head embroidered on it.
Wow.
And, I mean, I was noticing. In fact, you brought that up. I was watching. I think Tech has it the same way. I think if you buy the chairs, they'll throw in the logo for free. You buy 10,000 chairs, I'll slap that dead cow on the back. I'll put that headless animal up there. Want me to saw those horns off for you?
Yeah.
I'll knock a couple of dollars off each chair.
They might. That's what Aggies do. They worry about other people's business.
Yeah.
All right. We'll be back. Second half of the huddle.
That dog was in the Moody Center, not the other way around.
You're locked on the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. KTFM Floresville.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Lowe's knows that free is just better. That's why My Lowe's Rewards is free to join and lets you unlock member-only deals. Earn points towards My Lowe's money and more. Join for free today. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms subject to change.
Hi, I'm attorney Steve Benke. If you've made the decision to divorce, you need an experienced attorney who can help. I've helped many people get through divorce, custody, child support, and alimony problems. Call me. I'm attorney Steve Benke.
210-DIVORCE or go to BenkeLaw.com.
Right now at North Park Chevrolet, own a new 2024 Silverado Crew Cab posted at $33,999 or lease for $0 down and $370 a month. Get 1.9% financing on all new 2024 Colorado trucks. A new 2025 Equinox LT is posted at only $25,999 plus 2.9% financing. Together, let's drive at North Park Chevrolet. 10 minutes outside Loop 410 in Castroville or at npchevy.com. Must qualify for financing offers. Call 830-355-2107 for full price and offer details.
The Blitz is going to Vegas. Come along for an unforgettable Mega March weekend at Circa Las Vegas, March 27th through the 30th for opening day and the second weekend of the tournament. Thursday, March 27th, celebrate the start of the baseball season and watch all the games at the world's largest sportsbook, plus the ultimate March Hoops experience. Take in the action in the 6 pools and the 143-foot screen at Stadium Swim. Book now and use promo code BLITZ at circalasvegas.com. And join Jason and Joe at Circa Resort and Casino.
Progressive knows finding your new home was a dream come true. You wanted it close to town, with a picture window overlooking a yard. And you found it. Now, when you sit down to dinner, you've got front row seats too. Your neighbor's daily pickleball game. Progressive can't save you from your noisy neighbors, but we can save you money when you bundle your home and auto with us. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
T-Mobile 5G home internet keeps getting better. Get our fastest connection loaded with benefits. Get T-Mobile's best home internet starting at $55 a month with auto pay and any voice line. Plus, Price Lock. We won't raise your rate on internet. Check availability at T-Mobile.com/home internet.
Exclusions like taxes and fees apply. Guarantees regular monthly rate plan price of fixed wireless 5G internet data with qualifying service. After $15 bill credit with postpaid voice line plus $5 a month without auto pay with debit or bank account. Regulatory fees included for qualifying accounts. $35 connection charge applies. Speeds vary due to factors affecting cellular networks.
I occasionally have nerve discomfort in my hands, so the things I love to do...
Let's play something, Grandma.
...became difficult as I got older.
If you have occasional stabbing and burning in your hands and feet, try Nervive Nerve Relief. Nervive's clinically studied dose of alpha-lipoic acid reduces occasional nerve discomfort in as little as 7 days with continued daily use. Say yes to healthy nerves with Nervive Nerve Relief. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have health news, a CDC update.
Pneumococcal vaccination is now recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose. And millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning on 35 northbound Olympia Parkway. That is an accident. Right lane blocked. It's causing a 40-minute delay. It's heavy from 410. On 35 southbound FM 1103 on down to Loop 410. Traffic rolling slowly. It's also about a 30-minute ride on 90 eastbound from 211 on over to Loop 410. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
San Antonio Sports Center.
The San Antonio Spurs return to action tonight as they take on the New Orleans Pelicans yet again. They look to get some revenge after Sunday night's loss. Tip-off is set for 7, a game you can catch live on FanDuel Sports. Speaking at the NFL Combine, Stephen Jones told reporters the Cowboys will be selectively aggressive this offseason. Cowboys fans remain broadly pessimistic. I'm Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This Sports Center update brought to you by Twin Peaks.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Oh, we're halfway there.
Yeah.
Oh, living on a prayer. Take my hand, Rob, we'll make it, I swear. I think I've got pneumococcal pneumonia is what it is. I heard a commercial that there's a medicine that it could fix me, but I don't have any of it right now, and I don't think I don't think I can get it door dashed.
I don't think there's any medicine going to help you.
Oh.
I think you've think the cow's out of the barn.
Drink some coffee to flush it out.
Well, I mean,
I don't think it's it's the environment.
Oh no, I don't want to be sick.
I hate being sick.
It's the
Nobody
worst.
likes it.
Although I don't mind, like I'd rather have my stomach be sick than my head. Like I don't like it when like my face is leaky and like I feel that fog.
Like, and congested. And
yeah. Now I just feel like I got kicked in the ovary. Like it's that. I don't know, man. I don't know how. I don't know how you women deal
It's
with
like
it.
you got kicked in
It
the
does feel like there's a
stomach,
baby in me.
Or like you got kicked with a pointy boot.
Yeah, it feels like there's like
Yeah.
or a pony kicked back at me. Like
Oh,
I was
yeah.
at the petting zoo and I pulled the pony's tail and it kicked me right in that area between my waistline and my belly button. Stupid pony. That's what it was.
Well, if it's that low, it's almost down.
I don't know. I don't know if I'll make it. I don't know. But pneumococcal pneumonia is a real thing, and it's devastating.
And that they could fix.
That they can fix. What I've got, they can't.
You can actually get it's called an inoculation. You can get a vaccine to protect yourself from it.
From pneumococcal pneumonia?
Yes.
So I could have done that to...
You could have built up the antibodies to this.
But it's too late for me now, isn't it?
Yeah,
I think
too late.
I think you're dealing with we are dealing with a virus.
Great. Just
There's nothing you
great.
can do.
How do you feel about these college football programs eliminating spring games?
I think they have to.
Because, like,
you're protecting your valuables.
There are fans who are upset. Like, they like that opportunity to go out.
I guarantee you the athletic department's upset, too. That's payday they're giving up. I mean, that's a fair amount of money. And a weekend, when you think college town, you think of all those bars and restaurants. They exist for 5 weekends in the fall and once in the spring and a graduation and maybe a couple of sideline things. But the fact of the matter is, most of the schools, most of the businesses in small college towns exist for home games.
Yeah.
I mean, hotels are full. You'll make everything in these 5 weeks that'll keep you alive in the spring. And now they're going to give up a spring game. Everybody in town is upset. The coaches want to play them too, but you can't play the game and then give your depth chart without losing half your depth.
Yeah.
I mean, half your guys see I'm third on the depth chart. I'm gone. I'm packing my bags.
Well,
I can't do it.
So it's funny because Sark isn't saying that. He's not saying that that's why we want to get away from it. He just thinks that having these OTA, like NFL-style OTAs is the way to go. He thinks his players are going to get more out of it
but
that way.
That doesn't sell tickets. That doesn't bring fans to town. That doesn't, you want to get people, you want butts in seats. You want season tickets sold. You want fired up for next year. And watching a walkthrough in your shorts and shimmels, that doesn't sell tickets, baby.
Yeah, so Matt Rule at Nebraska, who is also getting rid of their spring game, says the word tampering no longer exists. It's just absolute free, open, common market. So I don't necessarily want to open up to the outside world. I don't want these guys all being able to watch our guys and say, wow, he looks like a pretty good player. Let's go get him.
Matt Rule is telling the truth.
Now, Sark did say, he talked a little bit about roster concerns too. He said, I just mentioned we've had 25 guys get invited to the NFL Combine the last 2 years. We've got a lot of young players on our roster. We have 21 mid-year high school kids that just showed up. The development that's needed for these guys to get ready for the fall is a little bit different than it used to be. So they're looking at it from in the same scope, but from different ends of it, I guess.
The other side of this is nobody leaves Texas.
Typically,
you know what I mean.
The guys who leave Texas are the guys. The guys who are leaving Texas are the guys who aren't getting enough playing time.
And they're falling down. They're not rising up. Texas gets. They don't give. You know what I mean? So Texas has their own unique issues. I mean,
but that's why I said there's going to be different programs will look at it through a different scope.
Until we can ensure that once the signing period is over, let's say on April the 1st, ain't no more transfers. Where you are is where you're stuck for the next year. You might as well rough it out. Then we'll have spring games again. Then everybody will show up and nobody going to be leaving and transferring away. But until then, I wouldn't do it. Yeah. I would have some kind of big extravaganza day, but there ain't nobody going to put on pads and nobody definitely going to find out their third string. And where everybody's happy, we're going to keep you around to the summer. I want you here as long as possible.
Christopher says the school doesn't make any money off the spring game.
What?
They don't sell tickets to the spring game. They make plenty of money off that
Like
game.
I said, we are selling season tickets. We are filling restaurants. We are filling the streets. They might not make money on campus, but the city needs it.
They're selling gear all over the place. Yeah, Austin is different. The the infrastructure of Austin, Texas will be just fine if the Longhorns miss out on a home game. But there are Morgantown, West Virginia,
College Station, Texas.
Texas. Any time that that 100,000 seat stadium in College Station, Texas is full, that's what keeps College Station on the map.
Yes, hotels are full.
Yeah.
Restaurants are happy. The houses, the tax rate stays low. Everything matters. Home games matter.
Yeah. The Big 12 is a great example of that. Almost every school or every city in the Big 12 is like, you think Manhattan, Kansas doesn't need big events? You think Lawrence, Kansas doesn't need these big games? Oh, yeah, absolutely they do.
So coaches want to do this. They're going to, Matt Rule's just the honest one. Look, man, I just can't afford it. I don't want to lose my guys. It's so hard for me to get these guys here. Last thing I don't want to do is show off how good they are and then give them a bus pass to leave. I just refuse to do it. And it's unfortunate, and I do think we're headed toward a fix. It's just not here yet.
So far, the teams that have eliminated the spring game are Nebraska, Texas, Ohio State. They're condensing their spring schedule, starting practice on March 17th due to, they played all the way till January 20th. And then they're going to go from March 17th to April 12th. And they are going to have a spring showcase on April 12th. They will also hold a fan event ahead of the event, but they haven't given out much details.
An extravaganza. Funtivities for all.
Texas has just said, listen, man, we've played 30 games in the last 2 years. We've got better things to do than play a practice game. Like, we're in front of a bunch of people. So we're going to practice smarter, not, I don't know.
I'll buy it.
USC, who has said basically they're going to go through their regular routine slate. There's just not going to be a game at the end. And they said it's due to the risk of injuries and the existence of more important uses for finances. Florida State is not going to have a game. They and now there's kind of a good reason. They're still renovating Doak Campbell Stadium. It's not done. They're still working on it. So, but he does say the head coach says he understands that college football's trending away from there. He's like, as much as anything, teams can change so much. I would assume you're going to see less and less spring games just because of that part of it. You go to play in a spring game and put whatever information you want out there, and that's going to help somebody that you're playing against. Even if it's just seeing the look of personnel, you only get 15 days. I don't want to spend a day that's not productive. So
there's reasons and then there's excuses, but the outcome is this. And it's one of those many unintended consequences of a free market. This won't support it.
They don't like it. Fans don't like it. But
I don't think we care. As long as we're getting the guys we want, I don't care where they come from.
I think we don't care because we're not going to the spring game. For a lot of people, I'll say this, a lot of people in Austin who can't afford to go to a Longhorn home game, being able to take your kids and stuff to a free game is like, that's a big deal for people.
Yes, that kind of stuff matters. The weekend extravaganza, like Ohio State, I imagine most schools will do this, meet the players, pay into the NIL collectives and, find out who you're paying for and meet the guy you've funded for the last year. I think that's probably the way that things are going. It's funny. As an A&M fan, I'm eager for spring games because I'm looking for a backup or a starting quarterback. Legitimate.
You want to see.
I want to see who's out there, and I know that's the symptom that we're trying to avoid.
I will say, I a guy that I work share information with when I'm betting college football. This is a guy who literally watches as many spring football games as he can. Like, he gains real information from that. Like, he finds real value in it. So it's a lot of people are going to be bummed out for a lot of different reasons, but the show will go on.
There is not a coach alive that does not cherish the opportunity to put his kids in a competitive environment to see a difference, a change. Yeah. So no matter what coach tells you, they would love to have a full-on spring game. Everybody wants it. You can say, Well, injuries, no, they did it for 50 years and it was still an injury issue.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, they can't do it because they don't want to lose the talent. That's the answer. Everything else is fluff and puffery. It's not true. They just are afraid of losing talent.
And right now, I mean, the teams that are – this is going to eventually – at the slowest it's going to trickle down to, but the teams that it's going to hurt the most eventually are the smallest schools.
The schools that are looking for the transfers, the guys that find out they're four-string and ain't going to play because of the spring work, and they're stuck. They're not going to get the opportunity to leave.
The guys at Western Michigan, I'm sure they love having their spring game. That's a big event for them. But then all it's going to take is a scout from Michigan State being there, and, hey, you want to play big boy football? And eventually they're going to have to go, what do we do?
Well, we all know the answer. We just haven't the bait and switch of let's fix a real problem has been put in front. Let's expand the playoff. Well, why don't we fix one of the other problems first? Why don't we fix the transfer portal first? NIL, I think that's out of the bag. We're never fixing that. But we can get some sort of control. I don't want to stop, but get some control over player movement. I don't think anybody would argue it.
All right, let's hit a break. When we come back, I want to talk some NBA. It is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
T-Mobile 5G home internet keeps getting better. Get our fastest connection loaded with benefits. Get T-Mobile's best home internet starting at $55 a month with auto pay and any voice line. Plus, Price Lock. We won't raise your rate on internet. Check availability at T-Mobile.com/home internet.
Exclusions like taxes and fees apply. Guarantees regular monthly rate plan price of fixed wireless 5G internet data with qualifying service. After $15 bill credit with postpaid voice line plus $5 a month without auto pay with debit or bank account. Regulatory fees included for qualifying accounts. $35 connection charge applies. Speeds vary due to factors affecting cellular networks.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you get coverage options based on how much you want to pay for car insurance. And then you decide how to spend the rest of your money because you're in charge. Today, you're going to pay down your credit card bill. But you decide when you'll pay it. Before the due date, so those interest charges don't get you. But you decide if you pay it in full. But you definitely should, because again, interest charges. With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, we'll help you find coverage at a fair price. And then you're in charge. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Hey, listen up, San Antonio. Many of the successes you've had began with a great opportunity. Now, here's another one. Get started on your degree or certificate in San Antonio. Choose from more than 135 degree and certificate programs, faster onboarding, and more from University of Maryland Global Campus. Get personalized local support services and take online or hybrid courses right here in San Antonio. Visit UMGC at San Antonio or umgc.edu/SATX.
Something amazing is happening. Despite a citywide blackout, this company is still up and running. That's because CDW deployed and managed a cost-effective Eaton Triplite Series Smart Pro UPS to safeguard equipment easily and reliably. Keep the power on and protect your IT equipment from electrical challenges. Triplite by Eaton and CDW. Make amazing happen. Find out more at cdw.com/triplite.
Hi, my name is Jason Thompson. I'm an attorney here in San Antonio where I've practiced for more than 30 years. And San Antonio has really grown since I started practicing law. The risk of injury in a car crash today is greater than it's ever been because every day we're forced to share our roads with 80,000-pound 18-wheelers and some truly dangerous drivers. If you or a family member is injured in a car crash, know this. The insurance companies are mobilized against you. They have highly trained adjusters and a long roster of attorneys with one job: pay as little as possible. Their techniques are extensive, and I believe you have zero chance of obtaining a fair recovery on your own. If you're involved in a car crash, you need to hire an attorney as soon as possible after the collision and before you speak to the insurance company's adjusters. Now, I do not have a comic book nickname. I do not call myself the Law Eagle, the Tiger Lawyer, the Law Chupacabra. I think the practice of law needs to be taken more seriously. If you've been injured, call me, Jason Thompson, for a free consultation. My number is 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400, or my website, alawyerforus.com.
For decades, Rudy's has been serving Texans incredible barbecue. But they've also been a community champion as well. And now when you visit any of their 4 San Antonio locations, just make a $10 donation to the Puppy Food Bank. And you'll receive a certificate valid for $15 in free barbecue and 2 soft drinks. So do the numbers. That's a $22 value for just $10. You'll enjoy great barbecue for less, and Puppy Food Bank can save more pet lives. Thank you, Rudy's.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on The Blitz, what kind of news are we going to get from the Combine? Stephen Jones made news yesterday. What's today?
Plus, the Spurs take on the Pelicans tonight in New Orleans, but is it a game they are trying to win? We're talking about it on The Blitz.
The Blitz starts at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. You're locked on the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
It's showtime.
Oh, you shouldn't have, Vic. You know to take you there in the midnight hour. I can feel your power. What's your favorite Madonna song, and why is it like a prayer? Yeah, that's the question and the answer, friends. If it's anything else, you're doing it wrong. It's like an angel sighing. I have no choice.
Your predilection for these songs, I'll never get it.
You don't understand why this song is great?
It's not great.
What?
Uh-oh.
That's impossible.
It's a good
impossible
song.
That you think that.
Madonna's a fine musician. But the fact that, it's Friday with a teenage girl and Madonna and all this, and then Bulls on Parade.
Okay, listen.
You're all over the map,
The Friday Rebecca Black song, that's just, I mean, listen, that's not the kind of song I think is like a great song.
Okay, hold on.
That is a great song. Hold On is a great song. It's objectively a great song.
It's probably better than this one.
No, well, I don't know.
I think the rankings had Hold On for one of the top, was the 30th biggest
it
song
was a
of the
big
90s.
deal, man. It was a big deal.
And I imagine there's a Madonna song that probably ranked a little bit higher. Not this
Maybe.
one.
I don't know. I don't.
This one was brunette Madonna. We don't like brunette Madonna. We like blonde Madonna.
I liked brunette Madonna.
That was a flash in the pan. It was over. See, she didn't like it either.
Turn this up, Vic. Let him appreciate it. It's like a dream. Oh, it's like a dream, Rob. Let the choir sing.
Yeah. Is this post? Yeah, this is way past Sean Penn.
In the midnight hour, I can feel your power.
Here's the problem. Is
You
right
know
now,
I take you there.
no one can hear that but you and I.
That's true.
No one.
I'm singing a
We're
cappella
the
to
only
the Brigade
two
Bar,
people
aren't I?
in the world. Me, you, and Vic are the only ones that can hear.
That's
the intro
true.
music.
Do you think I sound better or worse without the backing
Far
music?
worse.
I imagine so too.
No one sounds good without backup.
I think when Madonna's singing with me and I'm harmonizing with Madonna, it probably sounds really
it's
awesome.
always better.
All off key.
If you don't got backup music.
But when it's just me by myself, like some of my flaws are probably a little exposed. My vocal flaws.
Some of them?
Yeah.
Only some of them.
Yeah, just some.
But when you do hear when the musicians that are truly recording and they're doing it on track, so you only hear their voice.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It could be bad.
Oh.
Or without auto-tune.
Painful.
It can be rough.
Painful.
It can be rough. Okay, thank you, Vic. Thank you for that. You've reinvigorated me.
You brought him back.
Oh my God, I honestly was about to give up on the show.
So is that your favorite Madonna song? Seriously?
Oh yeah,
Like a prayer, really?
Yeah, by far. I think it's just a brilliant song. I love the choir that was in it. You remember that?
Oh, I remember it. Yeah,
God, it was just a beautiful, beautiful song. Yeah, so most people would say
so many good ones.
Like a Virgin is probably the biggest hit.
That was the first one. First big hit.
Vogue. But I mean, those songs they're gimmicky. Like a prayer is. It's just it's a complete song, Rob.
It is, but I don't know.
I mean, I think now that you've heard, you were laughing, but then you've heard it, and you're like, you know what, this is better than I thought.
Well, it's saying it's better than I thought is a relative term. Yeah, okay, it's not awful. I was never a Madonna fan.
I'm not really a Madonna fan either. I'm a Like a Prayer fan.
It was more about the show than the music.
That's fair, but Like a Prayer it's in its own class.
And the sad thing is I had to act like I liked it for a decade.
Why?
Because you weren't going to get laid without liking Madonna. I mean,
it's like there's
Duran. Duran. You had to put on the face, man.
But you didn't get beat up for liking Madonna.
No.
I've never really been a Michael Jackson fan, but I really love the Man in the Mirror song. Like, I just find that song to be like, oh, wow, I'm into this. And it's like, wait a minute, I don't like Michael Jackson, but I do. I like that song. Yeah. Like, there's, sometimes Sometimes you just find the right one.
Well,
Ren says bakes cookies, has a cat, impersonates Cher. He's a Swiftie. Like a Prayer is his favorite Madonna song.
Yeah, yes. If you walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, and are we dealing with a duck here?
Not your typical MMA fighter / man's man. I
don't know what a typical MMA fighter
I don't know
man's
either.
man is.
Maybe I'm not a manly man. Yeah, a lot of people saying it sounds if you listen on Apple Music or on Apple, they can hear the music unlike YouTube. And also Burnett Madonna rules. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Josh says when AJ was singing a cappella, if you close your eyes while watching the YouTube, it sounded like Madonna was literally in the room with Rob Thompson.
Is that what that sounded like?
A lot of people say that.
That's what a lot of people are saying that. A person. Sources say. I have a source that says one of those.
Oh, yes.
There's a theory amongst the sources.
Yep.
My theory.
I'm telling you, a lot of people get me. Madonna and I are confused for each other all the time.
Well, right about now you are. Right about now, she looks like she's a
she does look like,
in drag.
Yeah, she does look like me right now, which
she
is
takes like 100
she's sucking the blood of 25-year-old Dominicans to stay alive.
Listen, she
can be in a vampire movie just as is.
I'm telling you, she's feasting on the blood of the young. There's nothing good going on in that mansion.
I don't know what to tell you guys.
She bathes in it.
She's bathing in something. Yeah. It's frightening.
There's a saying that goes, "Rode hard and put up wet." That's Madonna. Madonna was rode hard and put up wet, and these are the results. She looks to be made of leather and bones now, and
I just saw that Deadpool and Wolverine yesterday, finally, and Like a Prayer was in there.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
of course it was.
I have seen that. I guess maybe I do remember that.
I remember seeing a video of them talking to Madonna to get rights to use it because she doesn't let anyone use her music for anything.
For movies, it's a big deal.
But they got permission.
I didn't know that.
They got permission from it, and actually Madonna wanted to see the scene that they're going to use it on first. And she gave the okay, and that was a big deal for them. And I don't know how much they paid.
Oh, I'm sure they paid out the ass.
Oh, yeah.
Because I remember when you remember she did the song for Austin Powers. And she did a song on the soundtrack for them, and it was like a huge deal that Madonna was making a song
for. But that was 25 years ago.
Yes.
Yeah.
But even at the
right
time,
now, play my record, please.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. That might have been Madonna's. That might have been Madonna's last hit song.
Well, seriously, you want to put me in a Deadpool record? Sure.
Yeah.
I'm not going to charge you, please.
I would imagine there's a good chunk of people who are watching, like my kids for sure, were watching that Deadpool movie and going,
"Who is this?
I've never heard this song before."
It's not Lady Gaga, by the way.
I like this new song.
Yeah. Right? Is this Lady Gaga?
This Madonna reminds me of Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
Wow, what a ripoff.
Is this Nicki Minaj?
Yeah. Man, she can sing.
Yeah.
Lil' Kim? Have you seen Lil' Kim lately?
No.
We're talking about rode hard and put up wet. Google that.
Oh, my God.
Lil' Kim was battered about the head and neck.
Well, I blame Diddy for that. What's Lil' Kim looking like these days?
Like a troll.
Oh, my God.
like she's living under a bridge.
What happened to her face?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. She's an episode of Botched under.
These poor women, man.
Oh my God.
Yeah, see, that sucks. When you reach a point where everybody that Googles you goes, "Oh my God."
Yeah, you need to do something.
Lil' Kim. Yeah, things did not go well. But she's got a bunch of gold and lives under a bridge.
Yeah. People. Here's the questions people ask about Lil' Kim. Number 1, what happened to Lil' Kim? Number 2, how much surgery has Lil' Kim had?
How much more to get her out of this problem?
Number 3, why is Lil' Kim's face different? And then she gets a break. Did Lil' Kim go to Biggie's funeral? That's number 4. Then number 5 is, how many plastic surgeries has Lil' Kim had? Didn't you already ask that?
Yeah.
Leave me alone.
Just in a different way.
I don't believe your first answer. I'm going to ask again.
Leave me alone.
How many has she had? 15 ain't enough.
I didn't believe your first answer.
No, it's unfortunate.
Man.
Her net worth? Boo.
Yeah. Well, I mean, how much has she spent on plastic surgery?
Not enough.
I think she filed for bankruptcy back in the day. She lost it all. But I don't know. Maybe she's earned some. I can't imagine she's earned some back. Who is Lil Kim's baby daddy? How much?
Oh, yeah, look right there.
How tall is Lil Kim? What does Lil Kim weigh?
More than she used to.
Well, that's not you don't ask that of a lady anyway. The answer is.
Yeah, but you want to know.
I'll never know because I'll never get past looking at that face. Like, what's happened to her?
Jeez, what happened?
Let's go back to what happened to Lil Kim. The first question, what the hell happened?
Well,
and they should say, what the hell?
Madonna hasn't fared much better, man.
Well, Madonna's like
she's 75,
30 years older than Lil Kim.
But Cher still looks good.
Cher is also drinking the blood of the young Dominican man.
Yeah,
Cher looks good for her age, certainly.
She's, 79 now?
You know who the hottest for their age is for an old lady? Is Dolly Parton.
Oh, yeah, by far.
Oh, my God. Dolly Parton could still.
Cher is 78. And she's pushing 80.
How old's Madonna?
See, Madonna is...
Think about that. Cher's almost your dad's age, and you would have sex with her.
Madonna's 66.
66, yeah.
Okay. Man.
Yeah, she's up there.
How old's Dolly Parton?
Let's see.
Older than that.
Yeah.
Well, she's certainly older than 66, but is she older than Cher?
I think they're probably right there.
79.
Yeah, right there.
Man.
She was born in 46.
She is so hot for an old lady.
That sentence should never be said.
Why? Do you not agree?
Well, that's a search term.
What? Oh.
Yeah.
That's in your search history. You don't say that out loud.
I mean, listen, man. They're all listening.
Everyone's listening.
My phone, Google listens. It's gonna be like, I'm gonna have like targeted ads of geriatric sex. It's like,
there's a comedian.
Viagra coming for sure.
Yeah, some cougar stuff too.
There's a comedian that says you've reached full adulthood when you go back and you're sitting watching the game with your dad, and your mom turns to the corner and goes, honey, will you come in here and fix the computer? The search history's messed up again.
Oh.
You turn to your dad going, hey, man.
Jeez. That's why. Oh man, I don't know if kids have. I'm sure kids have figured out delete your search history all the time off your phone, or use what do they call incognito mode, or private browsing, whatever.
Mode or something.
Yeah, that's the move. All right, I meant to talk NBA. I've got a list here, Rob, of the a ranking of the NBA front offices. And
it's the usual suspects, man.
It is. Although I want to ask you, because I know probably 10 years ago, the Spurs were a constant at the top of this list. I want to ask you where you think they will be now and where you think they're headed. We'll talk about that next. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I got to tell you about Cerebral. If you scroll through social media any given day, you're going to see a lot of terrible things. You'll probably see targeted sex ads, things like that. It's going to drive you crazy. But guess what? If you stop worrying about what's going on in the world, what all the bad things, all the people that you are hating on, and you just focus on you a little bit, it really can make a difference for you. And man, Cerebral makes it easier than ever to access dedicated therapists, doctor-prescribed medication, all personalized to you, to help improve your life. And improving your life doesn't necessarily mean changing anybody else's. It's all about working on yourself. The best part, they offer in-network care so you can focus on feeling better without worrying about the cost. Personally, I'm going through a major life transition in the last 8-9 months. I've moved across the country. My family still lives back in Las Vegas. It's very difficult on me, and sometimes you just need someone to talk some things through with. And Cerebral has made it so easy. And it just making time to focus on your mental health, it just makes a huge difference for you. Cerebral makes mental health care easy, accessible, and more affordable. And they're a proud sponsor of the San Antonio Spurs. Just like athletes prioritize their physical health, mental health, just as important. Cerebral's here to help you build a strong foundation for your overall well-being. Take that first step today. Visit Cerebral.com to see how affordable and accessible mental health care can be with your insurance. Cerebral, make time for Mind Time.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. We'll start with some good news. Just cleared that wreck on 35 northbound Olympia Parkway in the Selma area. However, with the combination of rush hour, it is still slow along that 35 corridor. Southbound FM 1103 to 1604, rolling slowly. And road work downtown, 35 lower level, southbound Main to Cesar Chavez, has the roadway reduced to 1 lane. We've also got a stall in that area, southbound 35, right at Cesar Chavez. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Straight Talk Wireless. Ready for the special season that's not on any calendar? It's free phone season. Switch to Straight Talk Wireless this tax season and get real unlimited data on a reliable 5G network. Available at Walmart or straighttalk.com.
O'Reilly Veriscan is a free check engine light testing program that pulls from over 600 million vehicle scans confirmed by ACE-certified technicians to provide a simple report and possible fixes, available exclusively at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-838-6161. That's 800-838-6161. 800-838-6161.
Hey, this is Rob Thompson from my good friends over at Prize Picks. Hoops are here, baby. It's time to turn the page and start playing games we can win. And now you can win up to 1,000 times your money over on Prize Picks just for doing what you love, watching basketball and picking those that you like. Prize Picks is the best place to get real money on sports action. There's over 10 million of us doing it. You should be there too. And right now, there's no better time to get in on the hoops action. If you think Steph Curry can get more than 5 3-pointers this week, now's the time. Is the freak going to get 35? I don't know. I do know this. Sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play $5, and you don't even need to win. You can receive a $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. And have you ever played Taco Tuesday? That's right. Each Tuesday, Prize Picks offers promotions that can lead to big payouts. Here's how you play. Go download the app today and use the code ALAMO to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. I'll say it again. Download the app, use the code ALAMO, and get $50 instantly after you play your first lineup. Prize Picks. Go run your game.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time and switch to the expensive shampoo with amino acids. Sure, you don't know what those are or why you need them, but it sounds very impressive. And if you switch and save hundreds, you can massage it into your scalp every day. Now, if only you can get people to lean toward your head to smell those aminos. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time. For shampoo. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
Are you a chronic interrupter? Incapable of letting other people talk? Do those people ask, how do you sleep at night? Then you should go to Mattress Firm. They have a 120-night sleep trial, so you can get your money back if a bed's not right. That way, anyone, even someone like
AutoZone.
Welcome to the A to Z savings event at AutoZone.
Thanks. I need to change my oil. So how much is an oil filter?
Free when you buy 5 quarts of oil. Right now, we have a special on Valvoline Advanced Full Synthetic or High Mileage Motor Oil.
The oil filter is free with the Valvoline
Advanced Full Synthetic or High Mileage Motor Oil? Yep, the free oil filter is part of the A to Z savings event. Only at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now. Oh, all the roads that led us here are winding.
Yeah.
Fire in your eye is out. But you never really had a doubt. I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now. Oh, yeah, baby. All right, Rob. The NBA, like you said, the usual suspects, the front office rankings, the newest list is out. And with after the trade deadline, they said, you know what, let's see who's moved up, who's moved down. Before we got into this, I wanted to ask you, like, I'm sure these lists, always included the Spurs, like through the 90s, 2000s, even 2010s.
Yeah, up until 14.
How did it get treated when things started to decline a little bit?
Well, I mean, you're always going to be judged for your successes. Our front office really hasn't changed that much.
Right.
I mean, RC's still here, though. He's been promoted. He's not even in the same building, but he's still around. And Pop, obviously, here. But Brian Wright has been the general manager, and his grades are lower. I mean, you don't draft a Josh Primo and not suffer a little bit. So, and the Spurs are not an adventurous crew. They're not going to ripple the waters with big moves very often. This year they did. So I think they're kind of stepping their way back into it. But you're always going to be judged by the guys you keep, the guys you paid, but almost more importantly, you're going to be judged by the guys you lost or didn't keep. And the Spurs haven't measured up, but I put them squarely in the upper third just because of the way that the organization has continued to keep their fans engaged. I mean, a lot of franchises that have gone through this drought, especially after the success, would be suffering far more than the Spurs have. So I'm going to give them some credit there.
This story divides them up into tiers, and tier 1 is nearly perfect. So these are the teams that you've got, do damn near everything right.
It's going to be interesting because every team I think you're about to mention has gone through some transition this year.
Okay. Number 1 on the list, and I think this is undeniable right now. And again, everything's fluid and it could change. But the Oklahoma City Thunder, and it brings up that
they've done everything but one thing,
and that's win a title.
Right?
Yeah. And it says, ever since they lost the Western Conference Finals in 2016 and lost Kevin Durant, every personnel decision they've made has been the right one. And it says, for instance, they traded Serge Ibaka on draft night 2016 for Victor Oladipo and Domantas Sabonis. A year later, they traded those two guys for Paul George, and then they traded Paul George for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and a mountain of draft picks.
And meanwhile,
let them start over.
11 number 1 draft picks.
One of those draft picks got them Jalen Williams. They tanked for 2 years. The 1 year got them Chet Holmgren,
and then
the other year
they got to tank again.
The other year got them Josh Giddey, who wasn't nearly as good. So what'd they do? They turned around and traded him for Alex Caruso.
They've been brilliant, but again, they've done everything right, but win one. This is all for naught if they don't get the title. But yeah, absolutely, you can't question turning good into better.
Lou Dort, Aaron Wiggins, Kenrick Williams, and Isaiah Joe have all signed extensions and will all earn less over the next 2 years than Zach LaVine, Bradley Beal, or Lauri Markkanen. Wow. It's wild. They've just done a brilliant job. You're right. They need to win a championship.
You got to go. There's been a lot of teams that have done a lot of things right over the years and still walked away empty-handed.
Number 2, they've got Boston Celtics. And
proof's in the pudding, baby.
Yeah, I have never said a bad word about Brad Stevens. I think he is the best in the game. I think he is. I think he's the best coach. I think he's the best GM. I just, if I had one guy that I could put in charge of my basketball world, it would be Brad Stevens. And I hate that the Celtics have so much success because I hate anything Boston sports related.
Well, he learned at the knee of the best.
Yep.
Danny Ainge is pretty consistent. Nobody has a better eye for talent than Danny Ainge.
And I also think like having that coach eye when you're the GM just gives you an advantage of like knowing how and Brad Stevens has like such a good relationship with the coaches there, and he's like, and probably they all know that he could take their job at any given time.
I was going to say that's the relationship he has,
and do better than they can do. So it's like they've got to respect what he's doing. Like, it says the only thing that's concerning here is the top, and apparently the team is up for sale. We don't know who's buying it, and it says we've also never seen Stevens build a team from the ground up. Even if he developed Tatum and Brown as their head coach, he didn't draft them. So they're saying that's a question mark.
Okay.
The only other team in the nearly perfect category.
I would say Miami, despite the Jimmy Butler thing. I think they're just about as well run as anybody.
How about the San Antonio Spurs?
I think that there's no reason to take them off other than this is the franchise with the current general manager that drafted Josh Primo, that passed on Jalen Duren. I mean, there are some little things that you go, not quite the organization that I remember, but we're also not accustomed for the longest time to drafting talent. You know, we lived off 4 dudes for 20 years.
So it says, luck obviously played a role in getting Victor Wembanyama to San Antonio, but we're talking about the Spurs here. The brain trust behind the 5 titles that preceded Wemby is still in the building, and their recent performance leaves little doubt the Spurs remain among the NBA's very best organizations. In July, they managed to extract an unprotected pick swap from the Kings merely for serving as a cap facilitator in their acquisition of DeMar DeRozan. 6 months later, the Spurs managed to trade for Sacramento's best player without giving that swap back. That's how well trading has gone for them lately. The DeJounte Murray and Jacob Poeltl trades also represented enormous value wins even in the moment. Steph Castle at 4, Devin Vassell at 11 represent clearly successful lottery picks. Jeremy Sohan has a chance to be that as well, though his fit on a roster with limited shooting remains iffy. That's the major question mark here. San Antonio's talent acquisition has been stellar lately, but it's been almost a decade since they've needed to actively shape that talent into a coherent contending roster. Landing De'Aaron Fox was the first major step in that direction, but balancing out the roster in the years to come will be essential. Fortunately, the Spurs are loaded at the top with draft picks even after the Fox trade, and the books are still clean enough for another major acquisition if they want one. They've navigated the early build around Wemby flawlessly, so there's not much of a reason to bet against the Spurs now.
When was this written?
Yesterday.
So whoever wrote it was writing it with the assumption that head coach at some point will return, I assume.
I mean, like he says the brain trust, I assume he's talking about Pop in some way, shape, or form.
It's hard to argue. I've been kind of on the inside of it. My argument would be, yeah, they've made some strategic moves, but it takes moving of a glacier to get it done. Their eye for talent hasn't been extraordinary. Yes, I mean, Devin Vassell 11, we can hold that up, but there's been other ones that maybe not. And the Sohan experiment is still an experiment, and we still haven't figured out exactly who and what he's going to do. So, yeah, I agree, but I probably would have put them a peg lower.
Miami this is the second tier, tier 2. We trust the track record, but the Miami Heat, they have it number 4. The only team one of only 2 teams to play in multiple NBA finals in the 2020s, even though people think they're down.
No,
they're still
there.
And
Riles, man, that's a combo.
And it talks about how they're always drafting in the middle of the pack and always seem to find value. Like Tyler Hero was 13th, Bam Adebayo 14th overall. It looks like Kel'el Ware,
they found another one,
is 15th overall. Like they just find the right guys. But yeah, the Jimmy Butler thing is kind of ugly. But
they drafted that kid from UCLA 2 years ago. Another mid-level guy that they got him into the All-Rookie League. He's been kind of banged up this year. Nobody in the NBA has a better eye for average talent. You know what I mean? Can pull average talent and make them better than Spoelstra and Riles. Nobody.
So they do make there's a Spurs reference in the blurb about the Heat here, but it says it may never be clear how actually close they came to landing Dame Lillard, but missing out on an All-NBA player that wants to play for you rarely looks good. Far more concerning is just about everything that came with Jimmy Butler's exit. Riley's end-of-season press conference last spring made it clear the Heat were not planning to extend him. That they didn't realize what sort of damage that would do to their relationship with him was pretty damning.
Yep.
They likely would have secured a far greater return by simply trading him over the summer. It's not as though keeping him gave them a real shot at returning to the finals either. Last year's team was far away from contending. The notion of keeping Butler and publicly challenging him to earn an extension was pretty old-fashioned, like much of what Riley does and what encompasses Heat culture. Does that approach still make sense in 2025? The answer is maybe. And even if the answer is no, it's not as though old dogs can't learn new tricks. Consider Greg Popovich, who presided over 2 decades of peace in San Antonio. Within 2 years of Tim Duncan's retirement, Kawhi Leonard and LaMarcus Aldridge both asked for trades. The Spurs have since righted the ship, but there is perhaps more collective basketball genius in Miami than in any organization in the NBA. Nobody ever leaves the Heat front office. If they need to adjust, they can do so, but given the way the Butler and Lillard situations played out, they have to be dinged, if only slightly.
The good news when you're a team like Miami, if you're going to Miami, you know exactly what you're going for.
Yep.
You know you're going to be coached hard by Spoelstra. You know you are going to be leveled with and treated like a man by Riles. There'll never be a move that they make that you are not fully aware long ahead of time that they're going to make it. You go with that kind of trust. They treat you like men. And as long as they get men that are willing to put up with that, things look good. Jimmy Butler got sick of it.
Yeah.
And they allowed him to be a man to the point where they allowed him to fly his own plane and do all this other kind of stuff. It just went south. I'm not out on him yet, but I do agree that the younger athlete is very different than Bam Adebayo.
Yeah. Nosum Arba says every decision made led to Wemby. Ha ha, lucky. Well, the thing is, you still had to get lucky.
I'd rather be lucky than good, baby.
Even by being as terrible as they were, it was still a matter of which ping pong balls popped up. Or there's still a matter of luck to it. That's the whole point of the lottery. It's not as easy as just. It's not like the NFL where if you've got the worst record, you just get the first pick.
Right. It's hard losing games on purpose.
By the way, the Jazz are the Heat are in Tier 2 by themselves. The Jazz are at the top of Tier 3,
really?
So they're 5th overall.
What's the excuse for not having Ainge higher?
It says some will argue this ranking is too high for a team that spent the last 3 years in the lottery.
I disagree.
But Danny Ainge built a champion and perpetual contender in Boston, and Justin Zanuck helped build Utah's recent pseudo-contenders. Losing is a choice for them. They'll start winning when it makes sense for them to start winning. Until then, they're making the most of losing. The Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell trades were both home runs, which is true.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they've done really well with what they gave away. But they are talking about it just being a slow rebuild. But it does feel like the rebuild's going the way they want it to go. And they've got a chance to add their centerpiece this year, much like San Antonio did, if they get lucky.
The thing that they have to deal with, that San Antonio for the longest time had to deal with, that Danny Ainge is going to have to get used to, is you're going to have to overpay for talent. Yeah. No superstars are going to land in Utah. You're going to have the bed nice and soft. You're going to have plenty of complementary parts. But to get a guy to commit to come to Utah, to Salt Lake, isn't going to be easy. So they have to draft darn near perfect.
Yep. And that's the same case for number 6 on this list, the Memphis Grizzlies. And he says what I agree with. The Grizzlies might be the best drafters in the NBA. It seems like they never have – when they do have a high pick, it's a Ja Morant. It's an easy choice. But typically they don't have a high pick. And they still find talent. The
Bane pick was a good one. Yeah.
Desmond Bane, 30th.
Yeah.
The next year, they had the 30th pick, Santi Aldama.
Yeah.
Jalen Wells, 39. Brandon Clark, 21. That's it. 4 of the 7 most used players on the Western Conference's number 2 seed drafted and developed outside of the top 20. And then it talks about the G League guys, Gigi Jackson, Vince Williams, Scottie Pippen, just guys that they drafted and stashed in the G League that are all useful players.
Yeah, it's kind of the fantasy football axiom. A bunch of good never equals one great. And that's, they've got a bunch of good and one great. They drafted well, but they're going to have to get one of these dudes better. Jaren Jackson's going to have to become more. Edey going to have to – something is going to have to elevate to get them where they want to go because Ja can't do it.
Yeah. Number 7, Cleveland Cavaliers.
Right in the last 3 years. It's hard to argue, man.
Yeah. It talks about how they – somehow managed to sneak into the James Harden trade and get Jarrett Allen for a bad first-round pick.
Which was theft.
I mean, it ended up working out brilliantly.
Mm-hmm.
And it said they tuned out all the noise about how Cleveland needed to break up its star backcourt or its pair of non-shooting big men. And right now it looks like they were right not to break them up. And
keep in mind, they traded away Young Bull a couple of years ago. They had their point guard of the future and ripcorded early. They realized it was not the guy they wanted.
Number 8 seems high, the New York Knicks.
Well, given what they did last year, you go find Jalen Brunson off you fleeced the Mavericks.
It was easy to get it didn't fleece anybody. The Mavericks chose not to give him money.
Well, the fools didn't pay him. And then to follow that up with Karl Anthony Towns, who has, welcome home. The dude is reborn in New York. So, yeah, I'm going to give him lots and lots of credit.
Number 9, the Rockets.
The other part of the Knicks thing is, where'd they go to school? If it's Villanova, we'll sign you. So, we'll just, if you put to Villanova, we're going to look at
like the Eagles drafting Georgia Bulldogs.
Looks smart.
Number 9, the Houston Rockets. It says the Rockets aren't the Thunder because they don't have their own version of Shea. Otherwise, they've executed a pretty similar rebuild by turning holdover stars from a previous era, in their case James Harden, into a trove of draft assets that will eventually lead to a sustainable contender. The draft track record isn't perfect. Jalen Green over Evan Mobley was a clear miss. And thus far, Reed Shepherd hasn't even proven he can play in the NBA, but they've got plenty of hits. Amin Thompson is a budding star. Şengün has worked out brilliantly.
And I think the Jalen Green comparison isn't fair because they made a terrible coaching decision to start this process. You know, they that first year, all those young kids were left they were latchkey kids. They just rolled the ball out. They had to go get Ime Udoka to toughen up the room because they had been free-range chickens for a couple of years. And I think they hamstrung themselves. If they'd had Udoka a year earlier and this team was a little bit more disciplined early on, I think we'd be seeing the results a little bit sooner than they've got.
And also, I mean, getting Udoka was a stroke of, a stroke of luck.
But to have him fall in your lap. But they needed a tough guy. They needed a guy to kind of set some guardrails because Jalen Green was a wild child his rookie year. Flashes of brilliance for sure, but no development.
And it talks about their draft position, like they've been unlucky on lottery night. Draft position has been worse than their place in the standings in all 3 years of their tank.
True.
The whole world thought Paolo was falling to them in 2022. Yeah. Then the Magic surprised everybody by taking him, and Houston got stuck with Jabari Smith.
Well, I wouldn't say stuck.
Well, compared to Paolo Banchero,
well, I mean,
Jabari,
a lot of teams are pretty happy to have Jabari Smith on the roster.
And then they talk about Fred VanVleet and Dylan Brooks, bringing those guys in to add around, and it's worked. Tier 4, smart but unlucky. This is a tough one for me, man. Philadelphia 76ers.
No, they're stupid. It's not smart.
They gave a supermax to Paul George a year ago.
Yeah, they're stupid. That's not unlucky. That you did that.
I mean, the Embiid thing, I guess, I don't know how it can't all be your fault, but there's a lot of problems that are in Philly, and a lot of it. I mean, now listen, you found Tyrese Maxey in the 20s. Pat on the back for that. Mm-hmm. You found Jared McCain at 16. He looks good, but you've had so many big misses. It's hard for me to put you in the top 10. Clippers at 11. Dude, you traded Shai Gilgeous-Alexander for Paul George and gave up the house to get it.
You got the richest owner in the world. You can buy your way out of problems. No.
Brooklyn Nets 12.
No,
they feel like another team that had a big chance and absolutely blew it.
I will say this: at least Brooklyn keeps going back up in swings, baby. They keep trying.
And the Pelicans are at 13.
Oh, no.
Yeah. We'll talk about who the worst ones are on the other side. It is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
On your ride to work, it's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson, KTFM Floresville.
This report is sponsored by Bank of America. What if your business could see beyond what is and into what can be? Whether you're a local shop or global enterprise, Bank of America gives you access to a range of business solutions to help make every move matter. What would you like the power to do? Find out how at bankofamerica.com/banking for business.
Guys, this is AJ. If you're feeling kind of tired or low on energy, do what I did. Check out Game Day Men's Health on Bassey Road. You'll get a personalized plan that starts with a free testosterone test. Call 210-900-3691. That's Game Day Men's Health, 210-900-3691.
Joel, it's fantastic to be a local business here in San Antonio.
Sure is, Nigel.
We always say, from the outhouse to the penthouse, we can plumb it and we can cool it.
And all that at a fair price with one easy phone call to 210-651-5899.
See, Joel, I told you I could do it without clowning around.
So what's with the red nose?
You can let go now. That's not funny.
Quarter Moon Plumbing and AC, 210-651-5899.
License number M16004, TACLA 141074E.
George gets justice.
At George Salinas Injury Lawyers, we are the ones you can trust. With over 100 years of combined experience, we are committed to helping people in our local community. Get George Salinas Injury Lawyers and put our experience to work for you and your case. Call George Salinas Injury Lawyers today at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com.
George gets justice. GetGeorge.com.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it.
Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 to learn more. With AutoPay plus taxes and fees, plus $5 per line without AutoPay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. Motorola Edge on us with 24 monthly bill credits and new line for well-qualified customers, plus tax and $35 per line connection charge. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to Hims.com/joy. HIMS.com/JOY.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-505-9603, 800-505-9603, 800-505-9603.
Whether you're tinkering in your garage or tackling big projects, if you know the value of working with your hands, you know Harbor Freight. And you can be confident knowing that at Harbor Freight, you can get quality tools at prices that work just as hard as you do. Because the only thing more satisfying than a job well done is a job well done, well under budget. Whatever you do, do it for less at Harbor Freight.
Getting your guaranteed maximum refund with TaxSlayer feels like discovering a refund tree has grown in your backyard.
I'm the refund tree.
Sawing off its branches.
Hey!
Feeding them through a wood chipper.
My branches! My beautiful branches!
And dancing in its refund rain. Start for free and get your guaranteed maximum refund. TaxSlayer. File fearlessly.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. We'll start with some good news. Just cleared that wreck on 35 northbound Olympia Parkway in the Selma area. However, with the combination of rush hour, it is still slow along that 35 corridor. Southbound FM 1103 to 1604, rolling slowly. And road work downtown, 35 lower level, southbound Main to Cesar Chavez, has the roadway reduced to 1 lane. We've also got a stall in that area, southbound 35, right at Cesar Chavez. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
San Antonio Sports Center.
The San Antonio Spurs return to action tonight as they take on the New Orleans Pelicans yet again. They look to get some revenge after Sunday night's loss. Tip-off is set for 7, a game you can catch live on FanDuel Sports. Speaking at the NFL Combine, Stephen Jones told reporters the Cowboys will be selectively aggressive this offseason. Cowboys fans remain broadly pessimistic. I'm Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Sports Center brought to you by Centergenics Testosterone and Weight Loss. CentergenicsHealth.com.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the final hour of the program. Chris says Spurs need to go get Jay Wright, ex-Nova coach.
I wouldn't be anti that.
I'm with you. He was not an assistant under Pop early in his career.
No,
but
he was not.
Yeah, I do agree he would be a good fit.
As we discuss this, and it'll be an ongoing point until it's done, we have to remember that I do think that Manu Ginobili is going to be one of the final candidates.
Oh, you think so?
I do think he is
You know that's why they've kept him in the building all this time?
Well, they've leveraged Manu for a lot of things in South America, and he's doing some things basketball related through Mexico and South America. But it wouldn't shock a bit to see him part of at least the final interview process.
Wouldn't shock me either.
Yeah.
The last three, the unlucky teams or the 10 through 13, the smart but unlucky, Philly, Clippers, Nets, and Pelicans.
Do you view any of those four as smart?
Maybe the Pelicans. I'll give the Pelicans the unlucky thing because they were.
I'd have drafted Zion too.
I mean,
and I'd have signed.
If this blood clot thing had happened and Wemby just could never play again, that would be unlucky.
No, I'm not. But there's more to just the Zion pick that got him here.
You're right, but they also they got Trey Murphy in the middle of the draft, and he's turning into a star.
I think Herb Jones is one of the better draft
and he's
picks
a second-round pick.
Years. Yeah,
Herb Jones. Jose Alvarado didn't even get drafted.
So credit where it's due. But
Yves Missy, who everyone said was I thought was a couple years away, he's one of the best rookies in the league.
Yeah, credit where it's due, but this has been years of ineptitude. They've just lately they've been unlucky. Prior to that, they were inept.
Yeah. Tier 5, don't rest on your laurels. Number 14, the Golden State Warriors. And I think you've got to remember that a lot of the guys that built that team are gone. Bob Myers is gone. Jerry West is gone. Travis Schlenk is gone. All the brain force that built those guys is gone. So while
they've drafted terribly,
they really have since they drafted
Wiseman.
Their group of studs. It's been a disaster. Now, Brandon Podziemski's a good player. He's just not a difference maker.
And
Trace Jackson Davis is great for a second rounder, but those aren't the guys who are going to win. Steph is gone. What you need to think about is if Steph Curry was not on this team, where would they be? And the answer is they'd be in the trash can.
Think that the Wiseman pick way back when it seemed, my gosh, how did they manage to get him after a title? From that point on, there has not been, hadn't even been close. Their drafting has been terrible, but given the situation, you don't expect much from them because they're drafting 28th and lower most of the time. But their free agent pickups have been haphazard. They're not rest on your laurels. They're a poorly run organization as we sit with a very good coach and 3 Hall of Famers.
Yeah. And they could have traded that James Wiseman pick and really gotten a ton. It was just a mistake.
Well, the whole world was wrong with Wiseman. We all thought he was going to be better, but then if you look at the following years,
but he was never a fit with what they the way they were built.
It didn't fit.
And now, to be fair, the guys that they could have drafted, the guys that would have been available to them had they not taken James Wiseman, were all going to be a disappointment, or they were point guards and they weren't ready to draft Steph's replacement yet. So they could have taken LaMelo or Halliburton or Maxey, but they weren't ready to move on from Steph Curry. So they were in a weird spot there, but if you're in that spot, you don't draft a guy that doesn't fit the way your team is built.
Never does anything for you.
Nothing.
Not
just
one
a total whiff disaster. The Raptors, 15.
Well, wasn't there a moment when they were thought to be the best organization in basketball? What's his name that left for the Wizards? Or is he still there?
Ujiri?
Yeah.
He's there. Masai Ujiri.
Yeah, he was considered the gold standard for GMsmanship. And look how quickly things change.
Well,
Kawhi. He got Kawhi'd.
It talks about it. It says he built up a lot of credit when the Raptors were winning, and he's spending it up very quickly. Let Fred VanVleet walk for nothing, trading OG Anunoby without getting a first-round pick back. But they've but it does say, hey, he drafted Scotty Barnes over Jalen Suggs. It was a choice that everybody questioned at the time, and turns out he was right.
He'd have been right either way.
Grady Dick has turned out to be a pretty good pick.
Yeah.
Jamal Shed was a late second rounder, and he's a solid player. But it says we'll have a far better idea of what Ujiri is thinking once we've seen Brandon Ingram and their upcoming lottery pick play with the current core. 16, Orlando. 17, Indiana. Boy.
Indiana should have been better. They're
starting to feel like a disappointment.
They were primed for a season to make a run. It's not over yet, but Halliburton's going to have to round this into form for it to turn out the way that many expected.
The Tier 6 is one team, and it says the single hardest team to rank. Number 19, the Minnesota Timberwolves. And it is, I'll say this.
A team in the finals.
Yes. Well, Western Conference Finals.
Well, that's what I'm saying. In the Western Conference Finals last year, you have a problem quantifying them.
Well, remember the Rudy Gobert trade, like, it seemed like they got horrifically fleeced in that deal.
But
it turns out they went to the Western Conference Finals, and it's like, okay. But now they don't have any draft picks to trade for a co-star to Anthony Edwards, and it's not Rudy Gobert. So that puts them in a weird spot. The player that might have been the co-star was Karl Anthony Towns. I mean, and I think in hindsight, they are probably looking at that deal and going, we shouldn't have done this.
Yeah, I have never been a fan of Big Cat. I always thought he was exactly what he was, no more, no less.
Yeah.
And I think they felt the same way, and we were all kind of wrong.
Yeah.
Well, the one thing they did do is they sent him to the one place with the group of dudes that he feels the most comfortable with in the world. And they put him in the best possible situation to be successful, and he is. And they just don't look good because of it.
But, Rob, even you, a admitted Karl Anthony Towns detractor, during the playoffs last year, you were like, this guy's got it going on.
He changed my mind, and they made a mistake.
So to trade him after that playoff run was the weird thing. It's like, you just saw what this guy can be.
And I can go even deeper. I don't have anything definite to say this is why. But I don't think Finch is a very good coach.
Yeah.
You know, not a bad coach. I just think he's a coach. And I don't see Anthony Edwards is not better. He didn't take that step that we thought he was going to take after the Olympic season. Normally, you go there and you do that, and the next season is phenomenal because you feel in the confidence, you believe in yourself. I haven't seen it. Yeah, they're unquantifiable. I don't think they're the worst team out there. That's a lot of talent on that team.
Number 19, the Lakers.
I don't know what to make of Pelinka. I don't know what to make. I mean, they're Lakers. I mean,
it says here they got LeBron because he wanted to live in L.A. Rich Paul engineered their acquisition of Anthony Davis. Nico Harrison handed them Luka. Like, we don't know how good they are. I don't know what to make of Pelinka. If they weren't called the Lakers, there's no way they'd have what they have.
All of that. But he does. So I got to give him some credit.
Tier 8, off to a good start, but barely any track record. 20, 21, and 22, Detroit, Charlotte, and Washington.
Detroit, arrow up. They have talent. They've won, 8 of 10, 9 of 10?
Yep.
This team is finding themselves.
I agree. I like the Pistons a lot.
They had to, Monty had to go. Everybody else over, 4 years of just idiocy, but now they're in the right track. I like what they're doing.
The Hornets need to Brandon Miller has to be a hit for the Hornets. The Wizards, I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about the Wizards. I still don't know. I don't know if they drafted the right guy. I don't know if they're heading in the right direction. They may be a mess. Although they did get rid of Bradley Beal, which was a
Herculean accomplishment.
Yep. Tier 9, title winners with questionable methods. 23, the Milwaukee Bucks. And it talks about how they are now in the phase where they are old.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like your core, Brook Lopez, Drew Holiday, Giannis and Dame, you've got an old core. That means you need to win right now.
And some of those, Middleton can't stay healthy. I mean, they've got 100.
Well, he's gone now.
Yeah, they couldn't. They had one problem after another. I don't blame them for what happened to them. I think they did what they could do when they got Dame Lillard. I don't blame them because some of this is of their own dudes making, because no one's going to go there unless Giannis tells everybody, I am never leaving.
Yeah.
And he, a couple of years ago, he was making some threats. The Lakers look pretty good. They've employed my brother for a year. I don't think that they're suffering because of what they did. They're suffering because of the market they're in, the success they found quickly, and they did the right thing. They locked up the dudes that won the title. They went and, they tried everything. I think the unlucky thing falls to them, even though they did draft the freak more than anybody.
Adrian Griffin, bad hire. Doc Rivers, bad hire.
Well, I think, the coaching, that's one thing. You certainly do get graded on that. And the Adrian Griffin hire was a cataclysmic mistake.
Number 24, the Denver Nuggets.
I don't know what the problem is.
Well, it says here, remember the heavy lifting was done by Connolly, who's gone now. So they're kind of, they're judging based on what they've done since that GM left.
But who else wouldn't have done what they've done? Ride with this. I've got everybody locked up from Jamal to Porter to Joker. They did some peripheral moves. I think they've done all they can.
Tier 10 says, I have real questions. 25, the Portland Trailblazers.
Well,
I feel like they've kind of they're on their way.
They're
although
Detroit last year.
They do have some things, like they're keeping some guys on the roster that don't make sense to keep. Like Jeremy Grant and Robert Williams III. Like, if you're rebuilding a team, those guys don't belong on your team.
And is Anthony Simons really going to be your best guard?
I think the plan is that Scoot will be their best guard.
Right now, Anthony Simons, and they're hoping against hope he continues to improve. But I think we're about to reach his ceiling. 26,
the Atlanta Hawks, which I think you could argue should be lower.
Yeah, they've been hoodwinked several times.
They got Travis Schlink from the Warriors, and then he goes out and did good news for the Spurs, but he did the DeJounte Murray deal, which was just a bad play. I think they're a mess, and I don't think Trae Young is that good, and the Hawks don't know if they they want to keep him. I don't know if he wants to be there. It's just a mess. They don't have their pick this year. Tier 11, I can't defend what you're doing. Number 27, the Dallas Mavericks. We don't have to say much about them. That one move is going to haunt that franchise. And removing Mark Cuban from the Mavericks equation is going to end up being the worst thing that ever happened to that franchise.
He did it himself. He didn't have to sell it to you.
You're right, but I'm just saying, that is going to end up being their biggest loss is Mark Cuban.
They went corporate.
Yep. 28, Phoenix. It's hard to argue. Where they're at in the standings right now, where they're at in their long-term outlook. The Bradley Beal thing is a unmitigated disaster. And like they said, well, we've got to add a third star. Who's the best talent available? Well, it's Bradley Beal. Does he fit with what we're doing?
Nope.
No, but he's the best one. Okay, let's get him.
I'm not sure if Ishbia is an evil genius because, he's done a lot of things trying to win, or he could turn into literally the worst owner in basketball. I can't quite figure out what he's doing. I know he's done some fan-friendly things, and at the very least, they're trying. At least he's swinging and trying to get some dudes, but a mistake at every turn.
And you know what? They got saved because and I'll never forget this about this Suns group. They were trying to add Jimmy Butler to the mix, and when that didn't work, they said, okay, well, we'll trade Kevin Durant for Jimmy Butler. And I was like, what? You're going to trade your best player for, why? If you're trying to make a big three, why would you trade the best guy in your big three?
Again, I don't know if he's an evil genius and he sees things that I don't see, but at least if I'm a Sun fan, I'll be mad at him, but there's sins of commission. At least he's not sitting on his hands. He's trying to do something. And for the most part, they've been strange, but he's doing something.
29, the Sacramento Kings. And it says the resume sort of speaks for itself. One playoff berth in 18 seasons. A unanimous coach of the year fired less than 2 years later. Their best player traded because they knew he wouldn't re-sign with them. It's a met. They're built around a 28-year-old Sabonis, a 29-year-old Levine, and a 35-year-old DeMar DeRozan.
First of all, it's rather a miracle that they've got the talent they have. They fell ass backwards into 3 fading all-stars, but at least they've got 3 fading all-stars. And Mike Brown, hey, I blame him for giving him too much credit when they did.
Yeah,
You know, I don't think he did all right, but he wasn't the difference between what they are now and if he'd have still been here.
It says the time to win is emphatically right now.
Oh, it was, yeah.
Yet they don't have a single 2025 All-Star, and there are only 2 playoff caliber defenders on the entire roster. This is a team that caps out at 46 or 47 wins, and that's only something to aspire to when you've been in 17 of the past 18 lotteries. And we can't give the Kings credit for 2 decades of poor decision-making.
It's all so true.
Number 30.
There's worse?
Dead last, the Chicago Bulls. And it said the Kings aspire to 46 or 47. The Bulls aspire to 36 or 37. They nearly occupied their own tier on this list. They were the obvious choice for number 30. They have not won a playoff series under the current GM, Karnisovas.
Mm-hmm. He's terrible.
It says, does the GM have a plan? Certainly doesn't seem like it. He said he recently argued in a press conference that teams can win championships with 9 or 10 very good players rather than 2 or 3 superstars. Aside from being mostly untrue historically, it's worth pointing out here that the Bulls do not have 9 or 10 very good players, nor are they especially close to reaching that number.
That was a Krause. Organizations win titles, players don't. Okay.
They traded Alex Caruso to Oklahoma City without getting a single first-round pick back. They basically kickstarted the Orlando rebuild with the Vucevic trade, and they recently gave away their best player in Levine to regain control of a first-round pick that was already top 8 protected and therefore eminently keepable if they had been willing to tank for it properly. So they are just a complete disaster. Despite operating in the NBA's 3rd biggest market, the Bulls have paid the luxury tax only twice. Only 6 teams have spent less in total tax dollars than the Bulls.
Did you pay those guys? I wouldn't pay those guys either.
Patrick Williams is averaging 9.1 points per game on a $90 million deal.
And they're about to pay Kobe White.
It says Nico Harrison at least built a finals team last year. Matt Ishbia deserves credit for his willingness to spend. The Kings have pathways to at least being reasonably competitive. There's no argument whatsoever in favor of how the Bulls operate beyond consistently maximizing revenue and minimizing costs. They are by far the worst franchise in the NBA.
Yep, and the thing is, they're not even interesting. There's nothing even worth looking. I mean, at least Phoenix is interesting. At least you got Book running around, and you've got the butthurt Kevin Durant all the time. At least some franchises.
And with the Kings, you've got, maybe Murray turns into this star.
And they've got Levine and DeRozan. At least they've got some guys. Even after the mistakes, they still got some talent. Chicago's standing there with nothing.
No.
And boring on top of that. That's the biggest sin is you just can't be bad and boring.
Yeah, and you've got some I think they tried to trade Vucevic. Couldn't.
I imagine somebody. I hope the Spurs called him at one point.
I wish they would have. Your only really good player is Lonzo Ball, and he's just constantly hurt.
Well, Kobe White got 40 against. I mean, he's not terrible, but that's not how you build an NBA franchise.
You know when Lonzo's healthy, Kobe White's not even a starter.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, Kobe's had to play so much.
Josh Giddey there instead.
Oh man.
Yep, so it's a mess.
They hung a good one last night on the. They had Philly last night by 50.
That helps. Yeah, playing Philly helps. But yeah, what a mess in Chicago. All right, let's hit a break. We'll come back. We'll talk about what's going on in the world outside of sports. We didn't do that at all yesterday. I got to give away. I'll also give away those Nate Jackson tickets on the other side of this break. It is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. Working a few stalls as you head into your midday commute. 281 southbound Brook Hollow. 1604 eastbound at Shanefield. Both of those are off to the right shoulder. And this stall at I-10 westbound Hagberry, left shoulder block. 35 southbound Schertz Parkway on down to Pat Booker Road. That is filling in and rolling slowly. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Bank of America. What if your business could see beyond what is and into what can be? Whether you're a local shop or global enterprise, Bank of America gives you access to a range of business solutions to help make every move matter. What would you like the power to do? Find out how at bankofamerica.com/banking for business.
Were you uninvited to game night? Do you play board games with the ferocious intensity of an iron-fisted oligarch? Have friends left game night asking, how do you sleep at night? Then you should get a mattress from Mattress Firm.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay. Things people love.
Hey, this is Rob Thompson from my good friends over at Prize Picks. Hoops are here, baby. It's time to turn the page and start playing games we can win. And now you can win up to 1,000 times your money over on Prize Picks just for doing what you love, watching basketball and picking those that you like. Prize Picks is the best place to get real money on sports action. There's over 10 million of us doing it. You should be there too. And right now, there's no better time to get in on the hoops action. If you think Steph Curry can get more than 5 3-pointers this week, now's the time. Is the freak going to get 35? I don't know. I do know this. Sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play $5, and you don't even need to win. You can receive a $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. And have you ever played Taco Tuesday? That's right. Each Tuesday, Prize Picks offers promotions that can lead to big payouts. Here's how you play. Go download the app today and use the code ALAMO to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. I'll say it again. Download the app, use the code ALAMO, and get $50 instantly after you play your first lineup. Prize Picks. Go run your game.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now boarding Group A. Please have your boarding passes ready to scan. If your phone is cracked, old, or was chewed up by your Chihuahua travel companion, please refrain from holding up the line. We ask that you kindly not be that guy, and instead simply go to Verizon and trade in any phone from their top brands in any condition on any unlimited plan for the new Samsung Galaxy S25 with Galaxy AI.
With new line on my plan. Additional terms apply. See Verizon.com for details.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price to have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
Some people just know they can save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first at 888-ALLSTATE or allstate.com. Like you know to check you have gas first before road tripping through the desert.
Empty? Seriously? Maybe I can walk.
Yeah, checking first is smart. So if you want to save money, check Allstate first at 888-ALLSTATE or allstate.com.
Maybe I can't.
You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary. Terms apply. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Don't let pain hold you back from living your best life. I'm Dr. Jason Garrett with Arasti. At Arasti, we're dedicated to providing fast, effective relief from pain. Whether you've been dealing with a chronic discomfort for years or have recently suffered an injury, our goal is to help you recover quickly. Our treatment is all natural, non-invasive, and covered by most insurance plans. With convenient locations nearby, relief is just a call away. Visit Arasti.com. That's AIRROSTI.com. Arasti, we fix pain fast.
Febreze. It's a classic odor tale. You fried fish for dinner, cleaned up, but the smell is still in the house. And the neighbors are coming over for game night. They're on their way. And then you spray Febreze Air Mist. Febreze Air starts working instantly to fight even your toughest odors, so you go from fish to fresh like that. Now, all you have to worry about is Pam cheating at charades. Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
If you missed the Blitz with Jason and Joe, then you missed this.
But yes, I had a very nice Valentine's Day. Nice dinner.
Everything worked out okay?
Fantastic.
Yeah, I can't say the same.
No?
No. I had an 8 o'clock reservation.
Uh-huh.
Get there, crazy busy. About 45 minutes to an hour if you're lucky, the hostess said.
Really?
I was like, well, I have a reservation. It's more of a suggestion this time of year.
I know why we have reservations.
I don't think you do.
Right home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6 on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Claymore says, how are the Bulls worse than the Wizards? I mean, the Wizards are so early in their process. They're, who knows what they're going to be. But like I said, you got to give the Wizards some credit. They got rid of Bradley Beal.
They're both
Phoenix can't
awful.
do that.
I mean, they're both terrible.
Oh, yeah, no
shining
doubt.
examples of ineptitude, and have been for quite some time.
Certainly not where you want to be, but yeah, it's there's some poorly run franchises out there. Just kudos to the Spurs for remaining in that in that top tier. That's impressive, man.
Well, continuity matters, and it's easier to be a good GM in a small market, I think, because there's certain things that you'll never be asked to do or expected to do. You're never going to be expected to do the things that Miami and LA and New York can do in big trades just because of your market. So it makes your job easier in that way, but you have to be dead solid perfect with the money you spend and the guys you draft. And one mistake can stunt you for 5 years. You just don't have the ability like the Lakers do to just fix things with dollars and imminent Lakerness.
All right, let's look at what's going on in the world outside of sports. In the year 2000, and
you gotta sing that. And there's very few people know what the hell we're talking about. But yes,
the good
year 2000.
The good news was in the year 2000, measles was declared eradicated in the United States.
Oh, just 24 years ago.
Yep, and here we are. An outbreak of measles has struck the South Plains region of Texas. 90 cases have been reported since late January. It's affected 7 counties in total so far. The highest number of cases is 57 in one county. That's Gaines County. Terry County, Yoakum County, Dawson County, Ector, Lubbock, and Lynn County have all had at least one case. Most of these cases are among children and teenagers. And we talked about how some kid came down here to San Antonio with it. Now it's probably going to hit here. Symptoms typically manifest within 1 to 2 weeks after exposure. Initial signs include high fever, cough, runny nose, red, watery eyes. A few days later, the characteristic rash appears, beginning as flat red spots on the face before spreading downward across the body. The contagious period spans from approximately 4 days before the rash emerges to 4 days after its appearance. During this time, potentially infected individuals should self-isolate to prevent further transmission. The high percentage of these people are unvaccinated. Only 5 of the infected individuals were vaccinated. The rest were either unvaxxed or had unknown vaccination status. But those 5 infected individuals that were vaccinated, that worries me some.
Yeah. Were they probably in some sort of immunosuppress situation?
I don't know. I mean, they're teenagers.
Well, they didn't say those 5 were teenagers.
Yeah. Oh, it just says the majority of them were teenagers. So I don't know.
This is all coming out of the Mennonite community.
Is that that's
really
confirmed?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, listen. I'm against measles. Like, you don't have to get vaccinated for everything. Let's go with the measles thing. Let's keep that out of society. I don't want that coming back.
And the tragedy with measles isn't so much. I mean, it'll kill you with the high fever, but what ends up with those that deal with it, the high fever causes blindness and deafness in kids, and that's really the long-term effect of the measles. It's not going to kill you, but it's really going to
and seizures too.
Yeah, the high fever is really what knocks you down. It's not the rash or anything else like that, and that's just devastating, and it's so imminently. This shouldn't happen. We shouldn't be dealing with this.
Preventable.
Let's go to where are we with this story? Oh, this is Alabama.
Okay.
In Alabama, Shelby County, Alabama. The school board has decided to terminate a cafeteria worker. Following a hearing that concluded late Tuesday evening, the principal supported the superintendent's recommendation to fire the worker, Avette Dunn, who says it's imperative you can be trusted in such a position as cafeteria worker. What she is being terminated based on her dishonesty because she was basically soliciting, well, she didn't say it's not even soliciting, but she was taking donations to feed kids who couldn't pay for their school lunches.
Okay.
And
how was she being dishonest?
When they asked if she was doing so, she did not disclose the donations because the donor wanted to remain anonymous.
Okay.
She said she was just trying to make sure no child went hungry in her cafeteria. And they said there's no explicit rule, that says you can't ask for donations, noting that teachers often engage in similar activities through Amazon wish lists and fundraisers to pay for school supplies. So this lady was just trying to save some or raise some money to feed hungry kids. That's a firing. Seems like maybe not we're not focused on all the right things. Maybe
I don't think we're getting the whole story.
I mean, they had
that sounds crazy to me. I mean,
yeah.
are they seeking because the funds were paid privately that the public funds that they could have gotten they're no longer going to get?
No.
Is it one of those things?
No, it's just they didn't like someone going outside of the school, and
so they want the kids to go. So you're telling me that the principal and the superintendent rather the kids go hungry?
Well, they said it's not about the kids going hungry. It's about her not giving up the source of where she got said money, the dishonesty factor.
Okay.
You know, hey,
the story is outlandish, and I feel like I don't have all the details.
There is. Listen, I'm tolerant of a lot of things on airplanes, and I know that everyone's got to fly. But when you are sitting next to a very, very, very large person, there are difficulties that come with that. Now, there was a flight.
We're tap dancing here.
There was a flight.
Oh yeah, we are.
From Melbourne that was headed to Venice when
that's a long flight.
A large woman walked out of the bathroom and collapsed right next to their seats, right next to this couple's seats.
So they wedged in?
So they can fit down the aisle?
Unfortunately, the lady couldn't be saved.
Wow.
And died.
From
so
what?
It was, it was obviously a terrible, traumatic thing for them to watch. Well, the airline tried to move her up to the front towards business class, but she was a large lady, and they couldn't get her moved through the aisles.
Oh, man.
So
there you have it. Yeah. Shouldn't have been on the plane.
They saw, they looked around, and they saw that there were seats available besides me. This is the guy talking. He's like, there was a seat next to me. My wife was on the other side. We were in a row of 4.
So they strapped her up like the grandmother in Vacation?
Yes.
just
so they had the guy scoot over to sit next to his wife.
What?
And they used those, like, they're thinking, man, we got a full row. It's just me, you. We got space here. Let's stretch out.
So you had to spend 6 hours next to a dead body?
Dude, Australia to Venice. You think that's 6 hours?
Well, I'm wondering, they're already in the air, so
that's
at least
like 16 hours.
If she died early.
The couple claims the cabin crew did not offer them a different seat to move to.
You know what?
He's like, there were a few spare seats I could see around us. You'd think like they spent the remaining hours of the flight on the same row as the corpse, saying he was told to stay seated as medical crews took off blankets covering the body after the plane landed. I can't believe they told us to stay. It was a terrible experience.
Oh my God. Apart from the corpse that sat next to me.
They're now trying to make the best of their Italian vacation of a lifetime, their dream vacation. We're trying to forget about the big fat lady that died right next to us.
I saw that was it an American? I don't know. The plane that crashed up in Toronto last week, that everybody got out okay. I mean, not okay. But
yeah.
I think I saw where the flight was going to pay everybody on the airline like $30,000, like for their inconvenience. You were in a plane crash. We're sorry. Here's $30,000.
Seems like a good deal.
Seems fair enough. What would be the monetary ask for having to sit next to a corpse for 12 hours?
The couple has said they have not been offered any support from Qatar Airways, which is what they were flying.
On Qatar Airline, all right. Well, at least you know that if you fly Qatar Airlines and you die, you're going to get where you're going.
Qatar Airways says they are
take you there.
They're looking into the situation. But yeah, so far there has been.
Just strap her fat ass in 1A.
Oh my God,
she'll be all right.
Can you imagine flying next to a dead, giant fat
We're
lady.
going to have to tape her in.
We want to roll.
She won't stay seated.
We want to roll her to the front, but we just can't get her through. Like, gotta have the jaws of life to get her off the plane.
How are they gonna get her out?
I've got no idea.
The moment she died, I'd have to go to the bathroom. Like, what? I can't. Can I climb over her?
Yeah, like what do you do? Step over?
Stand on her?
Yeah. What a wild situation. All right, let's hit our last break. We'll come back. We'll take a look at the daily
Give away
lines.
the tickets first real quick.
Oh, yeah. Nate Jackson, the Super Funny World Tour, June 20th at the Aztec Theater. Super Funny World Tour. All you got to do is tell me who was the number one ranked team in that list of NBA front offices. First person on the Brigade Bar to put that team name up, you will win tickets to go see Nate Jackson at the Aztec Theater on June 20th, the Super Funny World Tour, the number one ranked team in that NBA GM's list or NBA front office list. I got to tell you about Carbach, number one ranked Carbach. I had a couple Carbachs last night, the Dunkels and Dragons I had available on tap even. Oh, it was so good. And that's the thing, man. These places you might not expect to find those kinds of beers. You can. And like all the seasonals usually make their rounds around the taps here in San Antonio. They've gone out of their way, Carbach has, to make sure their beer is widely available in our fair city. And they've got everything. They've got something for everybody. Crawford Bach, the Hopadillo, which is their IPA. Their best seller is the Love Street, which is their Cold Style Blonde. You can find all those and so much more all over the city. Of course, they're in the H-E-Bs. Of course, they're in the liquor stores, but it's in a bunch of bars and restaurants, too. So when you're out and about this week, go ahead and ask your bartender to please make it a Carbach.
Progressive knows finding your new home was a dream come true. You wanted it close to town with a picture window overlooking a yard. And you found it. Now, when you sit down to dinner, you've got front row seats, too. Your neighbor's daily pickleball game. Progressive can't save you from your noisy neighbors, but we can save you money when you bundle your home and auto with us. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Mellow Mushroom has the best pizza in San Antonio. Mellow delivers the best pizza experience with their delicious dough, premium ingredients, and unique flavors. Delivering a higher order of pizza is the standard. If Mellow can make a pizza this delicious, imagine what they can do with munchies, greens, calzones, and burgers. Mellow Mushroom has San Antonio's best happy hour with food specials and half-off adult beverages. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it.
Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 to learn more. With AutoPay plus taxes and fees, plus $5 per line without AutoPay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. Motorola Edge on us with 24 monthly bill credits and new line for well-qualified customers, plus tax and $35 per line connection charge. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-505-9603, 800-505-9603, 800-505-9603.
Imagine finding your dream home and moving in right away. No waiting to sell your old place first. Sounds perfect, right? That's exactly what Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program lets you do. Buy your new home now and sell the old one later. Jason Minix here from The Blitz. That's exactly what I did. Here's how it works. Orchard gives you cash so you can buy and move into your new home first on your timeline. No waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then the Orchard experts take it from there. They handle repairs on your old home and make price-boosting upgrades. Once they're done, a local Orchard agent lists and sells your home for top dollar. Orchard's Move First program gives you the freedom to buy and move into your new home first and sell your old home later. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Ready to find out how much your home is worth? Visit Orchard.com to get your free home evaluation. That's Orchard.com.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is back. Monday, April 14th at the Golf Club of Texas. Get your slot now. $120 per person or $400 per foursome. The Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Pan American Golf Association, is presented by Flight by Yingling, sponsored in part by Ensira.com. The Spring Golf Classic, Monday, April 14th. Sign up now at sasportstar.com.
This is Jason Minix. You're listening to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This feels like a Vic jam. You were into this, weren't you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I had all these cassettes.
The Police were great. Stuart Copeland's one of the great drummers of our history.
Yeah, this wasn't. I wasn't a big Police guy.
Really?
No.
Man, they were the cool band. They were in the early '80s. They were kind of the ones. They were like the Beatles were huge, but the Stones were kind of had the edge.
Yeah.
The Police were kind of.
They were there.
They're kind of edgy.
They were hanging in.
I feel like, can we all kind of agree that the '80s were maybe the worst musical decade?
You are so wrong. Every bit of music you're listening to now is back, and it's all '80s. That you are wrong. '90s.
I don't know.
'90s was it was not a bad decade of music, but it was a one-off. They're not Limp Bizkits walking around anymore. You know what I mean?
Actually, they are.
The '80s was
they're
coming back, but nobody. They didn't take it anywhere. You know what I mean?
The '90s was all Pearl Jam and Soundgarden and Nirvana.
Right,
That's what
And
defined
it was in
the 90s.
reaction to about
Guns
4
N'
years.
Roses.
Nirvana was a reaction to the MTV generation. It was a reaction to bubblegum. You know, it looked better than it sounded.
Yeah.
Kind of music. But that got there about '80. But from 5 years, music changed. Just like when the Beatles changed music 20 years prior, it changed the world.
Yeah, I'm not a big '80s music guy. I think it was kind of a disastrous decade.
I think you're a product of that disastrous decade.
I mean, I was born in '80, but so it was.
I think most of us would beg to differ that the '80s music was far better than the '90s.
Yeah, I can't imagine thinking that.
Yeah, in 2000s it's just downhill.
Yeah, I mean,
2000s. I mean, yeah, it did get worse, but
yeah,
the '90s I feel like was strong.
Well,
although there's some good stuff came out of the '80s, like Metallica. Early Metallica was good, and
but you're right, like Bush,
the Beastie Boys,
Green Day,
all that stuff was '90s.
Yeah, that's all '90s.
No, not Beasties. Beasties '80s.
Oh, Beasties.
Well, Beasties was '80s into the '90s, but there was a
License to Ill was '80s.
Oh yeah,
87, 86.
That was good stuff.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it was just
rap began in the '80s.
Right,
the British invasion began in the '80s.
But rap exploded in the '90s.
Hair metal began in the '80s. They begat some of that stuff. So we're all beneficiaries of it.
Yeah, like that rap began in the '80s, but Tupac and Biggie made rap in the '90s. Like that was.
Well, I think Grandmaster Flash and those boys would beg to differ, but yeah.
We can check album sales.
Well, no, album sales would grow, but I think that those OGs, Sugar Hill and Grandmaster and Rakim and those boys, they planted the flag.
I get it. LL Cool J. All right, let's take a look at the daily lines.
Let's look.
It's the Morning Huddle's look at the daily lines with AJ and Rob on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
You covered, yeah!
You were born, like, you were of the era, like, the 70s, probably the coolest music. Like
anthem rock.
Oh, so great back.
Late
60s. That's 65 to 77, 78. That's when music was at its peak.
I think 60s stopped in 74, and then from 74, at the end of Vietnam, that was all over. And then from 74 to about 82 we're getting ready for MTV. So you had Yacht Rock. That's 70s.
That's
you had
pretty
Anthem
bad.
Rock. Well, I mean, good, bad, or indifferent. You had that Anthem Rock, baby. It was big stadiums and 100,000 people watching Peter Frampton. You know, just and when I think late 70s, it is Stevie Nicks and crew. That stuff is the enduring.
Fleetwood Mac. I think of
the big band acoustic stuff.
I like the late 60s into the 70s, I think, is the best. Like Creedence era, the Stones were big.
No better era since Elvis
Zeppelin,
in the 50s.
Obviously. Like it's just, and even the Beatles. Like it was just what a time. What a time to be alive.
Yeah, Doors. Still greatest band.
Not a Doors guy, but I get it. All right, the Daily Lines. Let's start in the association, where the Boston Celtics get back into business tonight. They are 11-point favorites on the road at the Raptors of Toronto. Do the Celtics blow the doors off of them?
Yes, that team, until they cool off, and maybe Toronto will be the cooler climbs. But when you got Peyton Pritchett, your third-string guard, hitting 12 threes a night, you ain't going to lose. You ain't going to lose.
The Cavs, who are, despite everything you read on ESPN, the Cavs are still the best team in the Eastern Conference. They are 7.5-point road favorites in Orlando tonight.
Orlando seems to have hit a wall, maybe.
Kind of think so.
Still the Wagner's return.
Yeah, they made it so far without anybody. I was like, when they were winning games with nobody, I was like, wow, this is crazy. Now they got all their players back and they suck.
Did they fall in that category as we were ranking front offices as just downright unlucky?
No, they were in the too early to tell where they're at situation. The Phoenix Suns are 7.5-point dogs in Memphis tonight. That sounds about right.
Well, that seems a little high to me, quite frankly. But we'll see.
The Bucks catching 3.5 in Houston.
Ooh,
Houston not been playing well lately. That's a tough call. The Spurs, 3-point dogs at New Orleans. Second time they played them in 3 days. Will this time be any different from the first, or should we be back in the Pels here?
The way they were just dismantled the other night.
It was embarrassing.
Just dismantled by a team that really doesn't want to win.
No.
And so they're going to deal with Zion again. I see no reason or any way, short of one of ours, Keldon, Devin, somebody going for 40, that they've got a chance. But the Pelicans don't want to win either.
They don't.
I don't know what to take from, other than if we're just going what I saw the other night, the Spurs don't have a prayer.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine they'll compete. But again, the Pelicans are dreadful. You never know. Luka Bowl tonight. Finally here, the Mavericks +9 at the Lakers. Do the Mavericks show some fight here?
Oh, I hope so.
I hope so, too. I don't think they do, though. I think they're going to get their ass kicked. I think they're going to get humiliated. And I only wish this game was in Dallas so the fans could just boo the hell out of them. I mean, when they finally do go back to Dallas, it's going to be an ugly scene.
What do you if you're the Lakers and you've got this coming up, how much importance do you put this? Do you just give the ball to Luka tonight and just go be you?
Yeah.
Or are you just? I mean,
the Lakers are doing a lot of things right now.
Well, yeah,
I just say roll with what you're.
And I'm saying get away
rolling.
from that, though. I'm not saying doing the good things and sharing the ball and being nice. Do you give the ball to Luka and say, you get 40 shots tonight, man?
Probably.
You know what? I don't even care if we win, but I want you to go get 50.
Go do your damn thing.
Yeah, I want you to inflict enough emotional damage on them to where you can now start being a Laker.
What I would do is I would find the team total for the Lakers and go over that. The Lakers are going to score 1 million points tonight.
I know that I would give Luka the green light the moment he parked his car.
Anybody who has potential of protecting the rim for the Mavericks is out. Anybody who has potential to get defensive rebounds is out. I just think the Lakers smash them here. The Warriors, 17-point favorites at home against the Hornets. 17.
And probably about right.
Boy, that's uncomfortable. That is a huge.
You got 3 Hall of Famers running around over there.
Huge number. Yeah, I'm not sure I can get there on that one. All right, let's look at the college hoops tonight. Speaking of big numbers, the Duke Blue Devils are on the road, minus 22.5 at Miami. 22.5 on the road in a conference game.
They're not going to beat Miami by 22 points. That'll be by design. They're going to call off the dogs at halftime. They're going to have backups playing the last 15 minutes. We're talking about walk-ons and those freshmen that haven't quite panned out. They're going to dismantle them, but that is un-Duke-like.
That is why. Although, if you look at Duke, what they've done in conference play, they are perfectly willing to give the business.
22.5 on the road.
Well, remember, they just beat Illinois by 43.
That's different. That's a non-conference in the Garden. This is. I mean, I'm telling you, my starters are going to break a slight sweat. I'm going to get a 10-point lead, and they ain't going to play anymore.
They beat Syracuse by 29 on the road.
Oh.
They went to Boston College and won by 35.
They might very well do it.
And they beat Georgia Tech on the road by 26. They are very willing to humiliate you in front of your people.
Yeah, John Shire's not Coach K. Coach K wouldn't do that.
Oh, he's looking to humiliate you.
Respect. All right.
And Miami is so bad on defense.
I just cannot see a world where they beat them by 22.
Again,
Miami.
This is one I'll just take the team total over on Duke.
That's just crazy.
Miami can't stop Duke. They'll score what they want. Florida's at Georgia. Florida, a 6.5-point road favorite at Georgia. Florida's done really well in these games against lower-class SEC teams on the road. Usually I don't like to back SEC road teams, but Florida's been a good exception. They've done a good job going into the lessers in the SEC and handling business, so I think Florida gets the job done.
A reason to watch. Georgia's big, Asa Newell.
Mm-hmm.
He's a lottery pick and might be hanging right around 9, 10, 11, 12 for the Spurs. If you're curious about a big that might be available, tune in and watch Asa Newell play for Georgia.
Florida, who has won 6 straight games, and again, they've been playing these bad teams and beating them emphatically. Most recently, LSU by 14 on the road. So they can get the job done. Iowa State's at Oklahoma State, minus 9.5. Tennessee, minus 10.5 at LSU. Alabama, minus 8.5, hosting Mississippi State. And Louisville, talk about a team that'll blow you out on the road. They're at Virginia Tech, laying 10.5. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same channel. Blitz coming up at 2.
You're listening to the Morning Huddle with